South and a better chance of more widespread showers and thunderstorms Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 44 days. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope!
I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down,
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Good morning on another blazing hot day across the natural state. It's your favorite midday radio program here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Matt Travis. Good morning to everybody involved in the show, listeners, co-hosts, everybody. What's new today? Outside of the idea that this is the last day of SEC Media Days, and then we got to wait a couple of weeks until we start to hear from more Razorback players, coaches, assistant coaches. So lots to digest as far as the sound bites are concerned, and comes fast and furious over a 4-day period.
That's the way we like it.
It's a beautiful day today. It's a little cloudy. I made a Walmart run this morning, and it's now we're here together.
I was watching Lane Kiffin talk to the media, and there's a running theme that you hear from all the coaches. And of course, some of it are coming in their opening statements. Some of these quotes and comments come just from questions. If you're not going to address the current state of college football and the wild, wild west feel of it, well, then the writers and the radio reporters and journalists there in Nashville are going to ask you about it. And then they'll ask you about it again and again. And once you go through the season, they'll get some of those questions as well. Lane Kiffin just addressed it in the middle of his opening comments, didn't even wait for the questions because he knows it's coming. The state of college football is crazy right now. And, I mean, you hear from the start of media days when Greg Sankey spent, he was up there for 45 minutes? I'd say fully a third of that time, if not a little more, he spent talking about name, image, and likeness specifically. And I think Matt, to me, NIL and transfer portal do seem to go together because these are the newest aspects of college football, outside of the idea that, you can bring in more than 25 players per class. And that goes into it as well, opening up the ability to have more players come in. Arkansas's got, close to 40 new faces this year. That goes along with name, image, and likeness and the transfer portal. So, these things kind of work together. And nobody's got any solutions. Somebody even asked Lane Kiffin, do you have any solutions to this? And he's like me. I don't like to complain about something unless you think you may have some kind of solution to the problem. Nobody's got any solution to this problem of the wild, wild west of college football. And
is it like no salary cap? Is it like because
it's exactly what it is?
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. It's a no salary cap with the idea that nobody has any clue what anybody is making or what their team is going to look like on the following year. There's just so many unknowns that go into what it's been like now. And this is not professional sports. This is some sort of amalgamation. I'm not even throwing the student thing into it, going to class and, growing up and all of that. What it feels like is that college football has moved into a position where it's a standalone thing. It's craziness. You could say the same about college basketball, but you only have 12 scholarships to play with. Baseball's got a little bit of that wild, wild west feel, and has for a long time because of the difference in high school players being eligible for the draft. With college football, this is a standalone crazy thing. There are rules to professional sports, and I'm not just even talking, Matt, about 10 yards for a first down. You step out of bounds, the play's over. Define the strike zone, things that go in the actual rule book of the play, of the rules of the play, of how to play the game. Talking about the rules of how you build a team, how you build an industry, essentially. And that's where you have nothing going into that right now. No organization whatsoever. Greg Sankey continued to talk about, we want, meaning the SEC, Congress to get involved in this. Either that or we got to find a way to get all the states within the SEC footprint to have similar NIL laws. This feels like there is no solution to it whatsoever. Every year you have, as Lane Kiffin mentioned, it's true. Every year, even if you shrink the transfer portal windows from the current 45 days to 30 days or just 15 days, there are still 2 times of the year where you have weird sort of free agency in college football, where anybody can declare they're going into a portal, and who knows if they're going to end up going somewhere else. And every time somebody goes into the portal and he's a really good player, you're thinking, well, this is monetary. This is all involving money, and we have no idea how much this person is about to make. Man, I mean, you would say college football is broken, but you know why it isn't? You know why it isn't? Because everybody keeps watching games. NFL's not broken. I mean, I can't understand the salary cap and everything that goes into how do you create the markets for what a position is worth. Baseball, sometimes it's a little bit weird to figure out how the money is all spent, but it's all within the rules that have been agreed upon by the people that have a stake in this, the owners and the players. We don't have owners in college football. We have networks who seem like they own the sport. We have players in college football, but they're not treated the same way that players in professional sports are, because they're not all under some umbrella organization. I don't know. There's something about college football right now, and you've heard me talk about this, Matt, where we're in this like BC era of college football, and AD is the start of the 12-team playoff. The big leagues in the Big Ten and the SEC getting larger with bigger names and tons of history. But there's still this wild, wild west feel to the relationship between players, coaches, administrators, and how you build these programs.
How long do you think? What I got from Sankey up there on the podium was he was calling for help. He was asking for help. Now, I didn't get to hear Kiffin, but when he was calling for Congress to step in. Like, he doesn't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if you got to have a union. NBA has a union. Baseball has a union. NFL has a union. I would assume hockey has a union. Do you have to get something collectively bargained where they're able to take care of each other somehow? And I don't know if it's as easy as putting a cap on things where you have max players like in basketball, like max money for a freshman, money for a how it goes. You got to have something. Because you're right. There's really, when you ask any of these questions, there's no answer to any of these questions.
You're not going to get an answer next year either because eventually this either, like the conferences have to figure out if they're going to all move forward as one NCAA product or one FBS product or underneath the aspect or the umbrella of the college football playoff. Or are you going to be marching along individually? You know, all these leagues, the SEC, the ACC, Pac-12, Big 12, Big 10 are called. They're called the Power Five, but what they're really called are the Autonomy Five, because a few years ago they were given autonomy to create their own specific rules in certain situations. And maybe this is how they all continue to make their own rules in NIL, because it sounds like Greg Sankey would like to do that if you can, and find a way to get the state legislatures within the SEC footprint to do something about it. Good luck with that. And Congress isn't going to do anything about it next year because there's an election. And so all the same questions happen next year, and the craziness begins in year number 1 of AD college football, when we have our 12-team playoff, when Texas and OU are here in the SEC, when we have 2 West Coast schools playing Rutgers and Maryland, as we all like to point out. So they'll have some of that structure in place for the bigger getting bigger, but we still won't have any real structure as to this not being a wild, wild west and Black Bart riding on a horse out there creating chaos across the college football landscape.
And these kids, they're talented. They're putting in time, and they should definitely, be compensated for their talents. I just don't think you put the ketchup back in the bottle. I don't know. Once you kind of get too far gone, how are you going to rein it back in? How are you going to bring it back in? And I don't know if it's as easy, because are they going by clicks? Are you going by TikTok or whatever all these social media platforms are? Are you going by actual on-field product? And it's not supposed to be performance-based. It's supposed to, so it's really is based on clicks, right? That's what it would be. A name, image, likeness is just based on how much you can move that product.
Well, I just anticipate that with Media Days moving to Dallas next year, you'll have the same coaches saying the same things about these very same topics. And then maybe in 2025, once we figure out who the president is and who's got control of Congress, and there's a little bit more, I won't say the word peace, but certainty as to who is in whatever situation, then maybe Congress does something about it. And that's the only way it happens. Because if we expect the NCAA to do something about it, this organization proved themselves more toothless with no penalties that really carried any weight towards Tennessee for what they deemed was one of the biggest cheating scandals in the history of college football. So there is no enforcement, none whatsoever, and there's none on the horizon for anybody that wants to
not even a bowl
tamper.
game for this year. And that's I guess you get to the point, and do you punish the kids that are there now? Do you let them transfer? Who wants to come in? How it's what was it, 2013 is when this started, or when it goes back to? So how do you punish the kids that were in the 7th grade then?
But try to create some sort of, you do something wrong happens to you. But it does to Jeremy Pruitt. It did to the people who were involved with Tennessee, but not the program and not the fans either.
Everybody still knows Reggie Bush won the Heisman. Like we all, but they vacated it. They said, oh, everybody still knows the Fad Five and those back-to-back Final Fours at Michigan. Like we know who the team was. We know Reggie Bush is one of the best ever to play the game in a Heisman Trophy winner, but he had to give it back. It was, retroactive or whatever they did.
Well, it's not like they had any banners to pull down for Tennessee football for those couple of years under Jeremy Pruitt right?
That's true. They weren't very good.
Those banners were more like rugs that you walked on in the hallway and didn't even clean off your shoes when you walked into the house. Halftime on a Thursday. We had a busy show yesterday. We had so many guys come through. All 3 Arkansas players that were in Nashville. Had a great time talking with Landon Jackson, with KJ Jefferson, and with Rocket Sanders. If you missed any of that from yesterday, it's all on our YouTube pages and on the latest edition of the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast. Today, we've moved the true. We know the true star of Media Days is Bob Holt. So we're going to get Bob later on in the afternoon after Josh Heupel's media session concludes the entire event. And so we got Bob later on while he is escaping Nashville with the rest of his colleagues at the Democrat Gazette. And Alyssa Orange in hour number 2. So that means nobody in hour number 1 except you and us. If you want to get on the show, calls and texts come in on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Our coverage from Nashville and Radio Row has been presented all week by Arvest Bank and the Limbird Real Estate Group. Limbird Real Estate Group now covers Fort Smith in Missouri in addition to Northwest Arkansas, and you can get a cash offer on your home in 72 hours. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Halftime is back after this quick break.
Live from Radio Row at SEC Media Days off Broadway in Nashville, Tennessee. Our coverage of SEC Media Days is presented by Arvest Bank. Arvest provides a wide range of banking services, including loans, deposits, treasury management, credit cards, mortgage loans, and mortgage services. Visit arvest.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Limbird Real Estate Group. Limbird Real Estate is now covering Fort Smith and Missouri in addition to Northwest Arkansas. For all your real estate needs, go to limbirdteam.com. Do you need free legal advice? Listen to Coffee with Counsel with Kevin Hickey and Brad Hull on the Hit That Line podcast network.
I want to go over a few new laws that are going to go into effect. And for those that don't know, in Arkansas, typically we get new laws in odd years. The legislature meets and then we get the new laws in 2021, 2023. We don't have a lot of even years that have new laws. So we have several that are of note that are going to go into effect pretty soon.
For more information, go to hickeyandhull.com.
With Hardee's Double Deals, get a double cheeseburger or bacon double cheeseburger starting at just $2.99. That's double the Hardee goodness with 2 charbroiled patties and cheese. Or double the Hardee goodness with 2 charbroiled patties and cheese and bacon. Both starting at only $2.99. Hardee's, goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant or app for details.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
It's hard enough to find a quality used vehicle and even harder to get the financing. Well, look no more. RVR Auto can do both. They have a large selection of pre-owned vehicles and offer in-house financing with payments tailored to your needs. Cars, vans, trucks, all makes and models. And RVR Auto is locally owned. RVR Auto, where you aren't just a customer, you're part of the family. And they also sell used vehicle parts for all makes and models, even those hard to find. Check out their inventory at rvrauto.net or give them a call at 918-626-8111. RVR Auto, be a part of the family.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
What's up, JD? I love what you do with cars. 7 straight years of the best detail here in the River Valley.
Thanks, Matt. You should come check out our Cars and Coffee. Every first Saturday of the month at JD's River Valley Restoration, we're going to do a Cars and Coffee. 5606 Towson. Come check out Queen Bean's Espresso on the lot.
What separates you from all the other detail companies in the River Valley?
Quality and consistency is what keeps bringing our customers back. But most importantly, it's the customer service that matters the most to us.
My ride looks brand new.
JD's River Valley Restoration, where we're making new relationships one vehicle at a time.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gate, and control access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, we offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, City!
It's the 18th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's. Can you eat a monster burger in 120 seconds to qualify? Go to hitthatline.com for more details and win a football trip of a lifetime. listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt David texted in with a question for you on your, it's not a daily trip to Walmart, but it's about something you'll do
The
once a
Walmart
week,
store?
right?
Oh, man.
We don't want to give the location, too, because you don't need the autograph seekers. We ask you to come into the studio for asking for autographs, pretty please. He asks, is it hard for you to go to Walmart without getting recognized?
It's like the Mexican joints, Bill. You go there's about 7 of them you visit, and you go in at the right times. The only time to go to the Walmart store is about 8 o'clock in the morning. Then you can get in and get out. It's not hot yet, but man, when it's 3 o'clock, and the thing that's funny about the Walmart store lately is there's more people working and grabbing other things, just getting in the way. Right. It's like, I just want to get in here and get my things and get out of here, and there's just somebody just working it's like, golly.
Everybody, I took the kids to the grocery store a couple of days ago. I just needed to fill up the house after being gone for like 11 days, right? So I wanted to get some apples. The Honeycrisp apples are the best kind. And they're
yes.
Every apple was on sale. There were 4 Honeycrisp apples left. I am standing in front of the apples, and one of the store employees that's shopping for somebody else comes right there, reaches over in front of me, and steals those 4 apples. I was like, I can't believe that just happened. And it's not like I'm going to create a scene over some Honeycrisp apples, but I did find some others somewhere else. I just thought she took the last 4, and I thought to myself, who does that?
And they have a time limit, They have to go in there, and everything's on, digital, or they got the tracking devices. So whenever that order comes in, how fast can you fill up that person's order?
Felt like Sinbad and Schwarzenegger fighting over a toy in a store.
I always feel like if we should, I still think people that handle food, or when you go in places, it'd be okay to wear a mask and don't breathe on me. But I always feel like if I go to the store, I get the fresher, I get the better things, where if I just plug it in and the robot picks it out for me, it's not necessarily up to date.
Yeah, I would much rather be searching for the bruised fruit. To the McClarty Daniel hotline, Woods is here. Woods, this is the second time you've called since you said it would be until I think you said September. So calling you out once again as a liar, but I like that you're here again. Good to hear from you.
I'm still hung up on this Jimbo Fisher thing. I told you less is more, but not for him. More is less of the amount of questions he gets. So he's the coaching equivalent of a political filibuster.
Well, didn't Drinkwitz just filibuster the whole time? Didn't get a single question because he just had a long opening statement?
Because they don't want to be asked anything.
Well, it's called controlling the narrative.
Yeah. And my dad gave me this great quote. I'm probably sure when he was over watching Media Days yesterday, and you probably heard it before, but God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Be a better listener than you are a speaker.
Well, I think Jimbo, the crazy thing is that Jimbo, he talks so quickly. Like, he packs 3 times as many words into 1 minute as most other human beings. It's really difficult to go a full 30 minutes like that. Somebody's got to write a real script for you.
He wears everybody out.
Absolutely. That's right.
The other thing I was going to mention on the NIL deal, I think everybody should have to sign a contract, and those contracts should have to be made public so that everybody knows what everybody's making. And I know that's probably very difficult, but that would be my solution.
Well, Woods, that's how a market is created, by being open with the money that's being spent on whatever. I mean, that's what commodities are about. That's what stocks are about.
That's what professional sports are built upon, right?
And that's exactly right. They know they don't have to release it to the public, but every owner, every general manager knows what every player in each league is making and for how long. That's how that market is created. That's why this whole Saquon Barkley thing is happening in running backs, because it's a devalued position. When nobody is drafted in the first round, or hardly anybody is drafted in the first round in that league, in that position, it's a devalued position. But they know exactly what everybody else is making.
Yep. And last but not least, Matt, I got a question for you because it's Women's World Cup Day.
Yes, sir.
And I watched. You probably did. You watched Wrexham and Chelsea last night, I'm guessing.
Was it? Well, I saw some of the highlights, but I didn't watch the game. No. How was it?
Oh, it was pretty good. I mean, it was in the United States. It was at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. So
I like Chelsea's a whole new team this year. They got rid of a lot of players. Kai Havertz, who went to Arsenal, and then last year they got rid of Jorginho, who went to Arsenal in the midfield. But I'm a big Kai Havertz guy, and I don't even like Arsenal or Chelsea.
Didn't I see that the MLS All-Stars?
Yeah, they played Arsenal.
They played Arsenal
5-0. Yeah,
it's like what the college. Who won?
Arsenal.
Of course. It's like the college football All-Stars used to play the Super Bowl champions. Be like, well, that's cute.
Yeah, it's cute. Exactly.
So that brings me to my question, Matt, because I figured you could answer this. What's the difference between a transfer and an on loan?
Oh, so when if you're talking about like they loan you out for a spell, a lot of times you can't play against the team that you're like if you're a Chelsea guy and you go play for Wolfsburg in Germany, or you play for a level 2 school and then y'all meet in the FA Cup, or you meet somewhere, you can't play against the team that you're out on loan for. And really what it is to get playing time. It's like, hey man, go here. You can't really get playing time yet. We still see you in our future, but why don't you go over here for a little bit? And then what they'll do is that team will pay most of your contract, so you kind of get them off the books, and he's getting some playing time. And then there's usually there's either a buyback clause, or you can take on their contract if you like them enough and they want to agree to terms. But a lot of times you go there and play for a little bit, and then you come back.
And so what's the transfer? Is that like a trade?
So they have their rights. So in soccer, you have to pay for their rights before you have the right to pay them a salary. So every player's valued over there at a certain limit, a certain amount. So if you're valued at $50 million, you're just paying that team but you can go on a free transfer. Ilkay Gundogan, who is in the midfield for Man City, he went on a free transfer to Barcelona. And so Mbappe right now has 1 year left on his deal, and he's already said he's not going to sign with PSG. And so if they can't sell him, or if they price him too high, and then all of a sudden you're talking about this guy that's worth $100 million for his rights, and you got $0 for him.
Okay.
If that helps at all. But
yeah, no, that's like trading like they're trying to.
Once they play out their contract, if you don't renegotiate and it's over, then you can leave on the free. But if you're under contract, then you get sold. You're bought and sold.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like Shohei Ohtani. He might be leaving the Angels this year.
Like they could trade him and get something for him, yeah. But if he just plays out, then they won't get anything for him.
Did I see Woods where Moreno said he's willing to spend upwards of over $400 million on Ohtani? You might want to sweeten the pot a little bit, because I think he might be worth a little more than that.
Has he made enough mistakes in contracts before?
No kidding. Didn't work when he threw money at Pujols. Didn't work throwing money at Anthony Rendon. Didn't work with Hamilton. That's exactly right. Yeah, they're Ohtani's a little different though.
I get it.
A little different.
I get it. But all right, thanks for answering my question.
All right, Woods, thank you.
And see, Luis Suarez is a Messi guy, and he just brought Sergio Busquets in. They're looking at getting Jordi Alba, but Luis Suarez is under contract with a different club right now. So for Messi to get him, for him to come to Inter Miami, they would have to pay this fee. Instead, they're trying to wait, and so they don't have to pay that extra fee. They're trying to get him on the free. They can't figure out a deal.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out a system in college football in a sport that makes no sense. Some of this stuff that you're talking about with European soccer is so confusing. I have no clue what's going on there. No clue. But the owners and the players seem to know what's going on, and so do the fans. It's a system, and it's a system that works, right?
Well, you see the NFL, you see the NBA, you see American sports doing now what soccer teams are doing. All the soccer clubs, their emblem is some type of Chevrolet symbol or some type of Baskin-Robbins symbol or whatever. Where in the past, you saw Denver started putting Sports Authority on their practice jerseys, where they're not using their crest or their emblem or whatever. They're using whatever, because Chevrolet paid Man United $500 million a year for that logo right there. So every time they play, whatever. But that's how much Jeep did it at Juventus, and so they get paid a lot. That $500 million just to put their logo on the bow tie on there.
Funny. And before the money got crazy in sports, and it's just recently that The NBA and Major League Baseball have allowed sponsor logos on their uniforms as well, but you used to have ballparks that would refuse to have. The Dodger Stadium, the third oldest ballpark in Major League Baseball, they used to have one advertisement,
right?
Just one. It was the orange 76 ball on top of the scoreboard. That was it. And now they've got ads on the bases and on the uniform. You can't look at anything as being sacred. I'll tell you, if you got the soccer teams out there looking, doing it the same way, then college football teams have been billboards for 3 decades now, if not longer, based on your shoe deal.
Right. And now with
the coach was pocketing, a good chunk of the money of it, still is.
They can layer whatever they want on the TV screen, so it might the ad that you're seeing on the TV screen probably might not even be the ad that's on the actual field. They just 3D it, hologram it on there.
877-377-6963 if you want to get in on that conversation. That's our McClarty Daniel hotline. You can visit any of McClarty Daniel's 6 locations in Springdale or Bentonville, and online at McClartyDaniel.com. Stay with us. Halftime is right back.
Well, I'd stand outside at closing time just to watch her walk on past. Unlike all the other ladies, she looks so young and sweet. She made her way along down that empty street, down on Main Street.
We are live from Radio Row at SEC Media Days off Broadway in Nashville, Tennessee. Our coverage of SEC Media Days is presented by Arvest Bank. Arvest provides a wide range of banking services, including loans, deposits, treasury management, credit cards, mortgage loans, and mortgage services. Visit arvest.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Limbird Real Estate Group. Limbird Real Estate is now covering Fort Smith and Missouri in addition to Northwest Arkansas. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. You need the Limbird Team, home of Arkansas's only instant offer program. Get a cash offer on your home in only 72 hours. Limbird Real Estate Group is the #1 team in Arkansas with over $1 billion sold and voted best of the best 10 years in a row, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and now the River Valley. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
What makes a meal magical? Maybe it's coming home to smiling faces and the aroma of the grill. Maybe magic is the moment you finally get the secret ingredient to Mom's signature mac and cheese. Who knows, magic might just be as simple as meeting up with a friend to share a number 2 with fries and extra ketchup. One thing's for certain, magic shouldn't be hard because it's everywhere. All it takes is mixing the right ingredients, good company, great food, and ice-cold Coca-Cola. And then, voila! You'll have a recipe for magic.
This is halftime.
Attention car shoppers. In the market for a new ride? Look no further than Road Chevrolet Van Buren, your trusted destination for great selection and unbeatable prices. We have dozens of new Chevrolets on the way waiting to land in your driveway. Reserve yours today and don't pay 1 penny over MSRP. Have a car to sell? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your car even if you don't buy from us. Getting a hassle-free appraisal only takes a few minutes. Buying or selling a car doesn't have to be a stressful experience when you deal with the pros at Road Chevrolet Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house-smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh-cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
The fastest internet you could find in rural Arkansas is from Wave Rural Connect and available now in areas like West Hartford, Gibson Ridge, and Elm Park. Wave Rural Connect is taking orders for Arkansas Valley Electric members on their Hartford substation. Order at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Fast internet from a local provider in Ozark. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect. Changing the communities we serve.
Sunshine is a beautiful thing, but not when you're sitting in a hot vehicle. Put some shade on that sunshine with window tinting from River Valley Truck Outfitters. River Valley Truck Outfitters have all shades in stock and are ready to put some cool on your commute or your upcoming vacation drives. Give them a call to schedule your appointment. River Valley Truck Outfitters, your #1 truck and car accessory store at the top of Rye Hill. Call 648-8855. That's 648-8855.
The largest used car sales event in Fort Smith history is back. The July Summer Sale at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. 6 days only. Wednesday through Monday. Harry Robinson has over 500 vehicles deeply discounted. Vehicles starting at $59.95. State sales tax paid on every used car. And no payments for up to 90 days. And bring your trade because nobody pays more than Harry Robinson. The July Summer Sale ends Monday at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's the 18th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's. Can you eat a monster burger in 120 seconds to qualify? Go to hitthatline.com for more details and win a football trip of a lifetime.
When the truth is found to be lies, and all the joy within you dies. Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Wouldn't you love somebody to love? You better find somebody to love.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, it's almost as if on cue, the conversation we're having about Congress got to get involved in name, image, and likeness. On cue, the last day of SEC Media Days, we have a piece of draft legislation from 3 United States senators. Senators Cory Booker, Jerry Moran, and Richard Blumenthal, 2 Democrats and a Republican right there, co-authoring legislation.
Where's Tommy Tuberville at? Where's some of these college guys? Turner Gill, isn't he? Is Herschel Walker? You got all these sports guys. Why aren't they in front of all this?
I think Tuberville's been involved in it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's got some other things going on that I think
this would be a good way to get reelected, I think, Phil. Like if I was in Congress right now or whoever could do this, I'd be jumping on it. People like some college football.
Well, I don't think the 3 senators involved in this have any problem. I don't think they're running for re-election right now, nor would they be in danger of
That's what I mean,
being
right?
voted out either. So, but this is kind of interesting to get a look at. My initial glance, this would create a new corporation called the College Athletic Corporation, which, according to the ESPN story, would work with existing associations like the NCAA to police certain areas of college sports. This corporation would be granted subpoena power to monitor whether all parties were obeying the framework established in the proposed law. So I wonder if this would be like a public corporation that would be sort of the police over college football, which I don't know if that sounds great. It would also enforce, it would have the power to settle NIL disputes, certify agents, and have other reforms including health care, establish a medical trust fund for sports-related injuries that would be for 2 years after athletes are finished playing. If an athletic department generates $20 million, any athletic department that generates $50 million annually would have to cover any sports-related injuries for 4 years after competition. All college athletes would also be able to enter drafts for professional leagues without losing eligibility if they decide to return to school within 7 days of the draft. That would be some wild stuff for the NBA and the NFL. We already have that from baseball.
100%. I already think that this benefits running backs. I know running backs are a hot topic right now, Phil, and these running backs are able to play at the highest level. If you can lead the SEC in rushing, you are able to play in the NFL.
Scholarship guarantees. College have to guarantee the athletes keep the scholarships until they finish their undergraduate degree, as long as they're in good academic standing. Schools cannot attempt, this is interesting, cannot attempt to discourage athletes from choosing particular academic majors and have to provide athletes with at least 15 hours per year financial literacy and life skills training. That does count as college credits. And then there would be transparency as far as the amount that athletes make in NIL, and schools would be required to report annually on their athletics revenue and expenses, how much their coaches make and how much time athletes spend on their sports. So there it is. I mean, this is almost like it's a bookend to SEC Media Days. Who knows if this goes anywhere? Maybe it does.
It's a good start.
Greg Sankey starts SEC Media Days with a lengthy talk that is centered a lot around NIL needs to be fixed by Congress. And then last day of SEC Media Days, I know you still got a couple of coaches that haven't spoken yet, but SEC Media Days is coming to an end, and this proposal bookends it. It's almost like
they're in cahoots.
I think they were. I think Sankey and the folks from the SEC that had SEC Day on Capitol Hill a few weeks ago, I think they knew what they were doing. I think this has a feeling of a script to it, doesn't it?
I wonder, I wonder how all those were some good ideas, I think. I think they'll try to modify some of that. I do think you have to, it's a student athlete still, and they need to, you got to go to class. And if you are an upstanding student and you're on track to graduate, then they can't take away any of the money that was allotted to you or promised to you. But if you're not, if you're not doing things the right way, you're not going to class, then you could have an issue right there.
It doesn't involve revenue sharing, though. So, I mean, it doesn't create a situation where athletes are employees of schools. And the more I think about it, the more there could be a lot of roadblocks involved in that. I'm familiar with situations where companies would rather you not be an employee for whatever reason, and there are numerous reasons. You could see why in that case maybe you wouldn't want to go in that direction. But in this case, this also presents some sort of a framework that at least lets the athletes know that their health care is taken care of, that their scholarship is guaranteed. And the other thing to be interesting here, the transparency. You're already sort of transparent in some situations with athletic budgets, because it all gets FOI'd. Forbes puts together the whole list. We see it year by year. You can list 1 through however many schools in FBS, what they spend on recruiting, what they make per year on revenue, unless it's the private schools. Vanderbilt never has to throw that in. You don't really know what Clark Lee is making. Northwestern doesn't have to be public with that information, but something tells me they're going to have to be public about everything now at Northwestern.
Does this mean Notre Dame has to join a Power 5?
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Doesn't have anything to do.
No, I don't. I still don't. No, this doesn't address anything involving realignment, and of course that's the 800-pound gorilla out there as far as realignment is concerned. I still think Notre Dame will be independent for as long as they possibly can, unless it turns into a thing like most of the schools that they used to play on a historic basis end up in one league. They have a thing with Purdue. They have a thing with a lot of Big Ten schools, and now with USC joining, let's say Stanford ends up in the Big Ten somehow. Notre Dame and Stanford have had a rivalry for years. Maybe that would be one thing to get them into the Big Ten, but I don't think I see that right now. Anyway, we spent so much time on the idea that Congress can fix something about this that we've kind of lost track of some of the other things involving Arkansas football that we wanted to get to. So I got a lot of that lined up in just a moment, but let's look at some of these texts on a McClarty-Daniel hotline. Shane doesn't trust Congress to help fix college football because they've done such a great job of the country. Hey, that's legit. That's a legitimate belief. but then who's going to do something about this?
Yeah, but they might like the country. I mean, they might like college football better than they like the country. You know, they
might do college football right. Everybody else can just kind of kick rocks.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just because they've been that they can't agree on anything practically doesn't mean that that's still not the one place where this can get done. Because the NCAA has kind of washed their hands with it. Charlie Baker, who's the president of the NCAA, he has even said, Congress may have to get involved in this. And that's what Congress exists for. You can hate the government all you want, and I understand reasons why. You can hate those in Congress all you want, and again, I understand the reasons why. But that may end up being the only place that this amoeba-like structure of college football, which isn't a structure at all, and very well could implode upon itself if things continue in the way that they're continuing. Well, you have all this interest in the sport, and that's what's keeping it going. But if there aren't rules and some sort of organization to enforce those rules, the thing is going to fall apart. And we'll end up being left with, who knows what we're being left with. So hate Congress all you want. That may be the only place that this can get fixed. All right, we'll come back and wrap up hour number 1 right after this.
Is a guy that thinks he's fly and is also known as a buster. Always talking about what he wants and just sits on his broke ass. So, no, I don't want your number, no. I don't want to give you mine, and no. I don't want to meet you nowhere, no. Don't want none of your time, and no. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging up the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me.
We are live from Radio Row at SEC Media Days off Broadway in Nashville, Tennessee. Our coverage of SEC Media Days is presented by Arvest Bank. Arvest provides a wide range of banking services, including loans, deposits, treasury management, credit cards, mortgage loans, and mortgage services. Visit arvest.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Limbird Real Estate Group. Limbird Real Estate is now covering Fort Smith and Missouri in addition to Northwest Arkansas. For all your real estate needs, go to limbirdteam.com.
The July Summer Sale, this Wednesday through Monday at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Harry Robinson has over 500 cars, deeply discounted for this 6-day event. Over 30 lenders and multiple appraisers are on site. If you have been turned down elsewhere, Harry will get you financed. Cars as low as $59.95, no payments for up to 90 days, and nobody will pay more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The July Summer Sale, Wednesday through Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Gray Brothers Equipment understands the importance of your hay crop, and they're ready to help with quality Kubota products like Kubota rotary disc mowers, Kubota brand wheel hay rakes, and BV round balers attached to Kubota's M-Series cab tractor. Together, Kubota and Gray Brothers will make your hay days fun again. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Photo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Get a bonus $300 when you make the move to Dish if you're a DirecTV customer with your local Premier Dish dealer, World of Wireless.
Call WOW now, 877-305-DISH. It's a toll-free number, but we are a local company in the River Valley, serving Dish customers for 27 years, since 1995, coming on 28 years. Right now, you can switch from DirecTV and get a $300 offer. All you got to do is call us or come by and see us in Barling at WOW World of Wireless, your local Premier Dish retailer. $300 for switching to Dish.
Just bring your DirecTV bill in, and you'll have them installed before the weekend's up.
Or you can just call us. You don't have to come in. You can call us, and we'll take care of you and get you installed.
877-305-DISH. If you made the move to DirecTV a while back for Sunday Ticket, or maybe you've recently lost your local channels, now's the time to move to Dish.
That's right. If you want the Sunday NFL Ticket, they no longer have it. You might as well switch to Dish. Get the Red Zone at least with the NFL package.
All right, make the move to Dish. Get a bonus $300. Call WOW now, 877-305-DISH for World of Wireless.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Frank Rowe Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is making the middle of the week something to look forward to. Wednesdays is Nacho Average Wednesday. Get $1 off all nachos every Wednesday and try the all-new ballpark-style pork nachos. And draft or bottled beers are $1 off. Every Thursday is Throwback Thursday. Enjoy some of the old Cuco's classic platters, just the way you remember them. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's the 18th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's. Can you eat a monster burger in 120 seconds to qualify? Go to hitthatline.com for more details and win a football trip of a lifetime.
Heads up! Heads up! Here's another one, and another one. Geek, geek. Why you all in my ear talking a whole bunch of shit that I ain't trying to hear? Get back, you don't know me like that. Get back, you don't know me like that. Geek, geek. I ain't playing around. Make one false move, I take you down. Get back, you don't know me like that. Get back, you don't know me like that. So come on, don't get swung on. It's the knick-knack, paddywhack, still riding Cadillacs. Family off the street, made my homies put the baggies back. Still stacking plaques, still action-packed. And dope, I keep it flipping like acrobats. That's why I pack a Mac, that'll crack a back. Cause on my waist is more heat than the Shack Attack. But I ain't speaking about ballin', just thinking about brawling till y'all start ballin'. We all in together now, birds of a feather now. Just bought a plane, so we changing the weather now. So put your brakes on, caps, put your capes on, and knock off your block. Get dropped and have your face flown. Cause I'll prove it, scratch off the music like, hey, little stupid, don't make me lose it. Why you all in my ear talking a whole bunch of shit that I ain't trying to hear? Get back, you don't know me like that. Get back, you don't know me like that.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
I looked all up and down the Hot Springs Yacht Club playlist that Sam Pittman put together. I think he put that together a year ago and just keeps adding to it. You go to Spotify, and there it is. I mean, it says that this list is made by J.J. Pittman. I can only figure out who that would be. There are 3 public playlists under J.J. Pittman, and Hot Springs Yacht Club has 301 followers. I don't know if that's a lot or not for Spotify, but I do not see Ludacris on the Hot Springs Yacht Club playlist. There is a lot of pop music. There's a lot of country music, but you get some rap in there too. He's got 2 Chainz and Wiz Khalifa. Just 3 songs away from a Keith Urban song. Coach Pittman's got an eclectic taste in music. I guess if he's the one who put all this together. Rascal Flatts. Luke is probably a little more heavy on the country songs than anything else. Florida Georgia Line. I don't know if I can download a playlist that has Florida Georgia Line on that.
Morgan Wallen.
I was about to ask. Please tell me there's no Morgan Wallen on there.
Morgan Wallen is number 69.
Well, then we're going 5-7 this year. It's gonna be a long. It's gonna be a long year, Phil.
Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus is on the list, right next to probably one of his favorite songs. Listen to the music by the Doobie Brothers.
Well, see, there we go.
This is Sam Pittman's Jukebox, right? Is that what I'm looking at?
Essentially, I think that's what it is. I don't know if this is what would be connected to the speaker in the locker room after a win. Because I think you got to let the players choose what they're listening to at that point.
He's got Old Crow Medicine Show, some Van Morrison.
He's got Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, he's got our favorite song, Got Rice Cooking in the Microwave.
I got a 3-day beard. I don't plan to shave.
That's right.
It's got one of my favorite weekend songs, I Feel It Coming. There's songs on here that I would not be getting down to, and then there's a lot of others that I would. I'm still looking for Foreigner on his playlist because he was at the Foreigner concert and apparently up on stage singing.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no kidding. Coach Pittman told me one time, I love everything about being the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yes, he does.
Which sometimes includes getting to be up on stage with one of your favorite 70s and 80s rock bands singing the lyrics, then apparently having your microphone turned off.
That's the only way I'd get on stage.
By having your microphone turned off?
Absolutely.
See, he has multiple Bob Seger songs, so a lot of stuff that we play here, but then he also has several Nelly songs.
Does he probably does like Steve Spurrier did his honorable mention when he got to pick first team conference. He said, no, I'm going to let the GA do it. And then they didn't put Tim Tebow on it. And he's like, why? He's the best quarterback there is.
No graduate assistant put Biggest Part of Me by Ambrosia on the Hot Springs Yacht Club playlist, okay? And I like that song. Those were guys that wouldn't get away with
dressing like that. You get Cruel Summer by Bama Ram?
Pick Up the Pieces by the Average White Band. Half of his playlist I can really dig. Even the Ambrosia. Thankfully, no Donny Osmond. McClarty Daniel Hotline open for you in the next segment, 877-377-6963. Halftime is right back.
I'm Rachel Ray, and I'm a realtor. My brokerage and I spend 365 days a year honoring our military members and those who put their lives on the line to keep us safe here at home. And that's why I'm honored to offer personalized service and savings on the purchase or sale of a home to all active duty military and veterans. Let me handle the selling and buying process so you can use your leave time to make memories with your family. Go to RachelRayNWA.com to fill out the application and you could qualify for a statement credit at closing. Rachel Ray, NWA.
Fort Smith's largest used car sale ever is back Wednesday through Monday at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Over 500 vehicles are on the lot. Cars as low as $59.95. Multiple appraisers are on site to bid on your car. Over 30 banks on hand to get you financed. Even if you've been told no elsewhere, get no payments for up to 90 days. Plus state sales tax paid on every used car. The July summer sale, Wednesday through Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Abby with Davis Floor Covering. Whether it's a remodel or new construction, let Davis Floor Covering help you with all your flooring needs and more. We carry top brands such as MSI, the largest flooring distributor in North America, with hardwoods, luxury vinyl plank, tile, solid surface countertops, ledger panels, waterproof wood, laminate, and more. Stop by our showrooms in Fort Smith and Tahlequah. Call us at 479-452-4808 to get started today. That's 452-4808 for Davis Floor Covering.
Here's to you and yours from your friends at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. Hey, warmer weather is with us, and that means fun in the outdoors. Whether you're in the boat, onshore enjoying a picnic, or attending a family celebration, In Good Spirits can provide you with the tastiest adult beverages in town. And don't forget to treat yourself as you listen to the game. In Good Spirits, Highway 71 South across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see an increase in the cloud cover. There's a slight chance of seeing a shower or storm across the north. High temperatures today into the middle 90s. A chance of a few showers and storms across the north tonight. Overnight low will drop down upper 60s north, mid-70s south, and a better chance of more widespread showers and thunderstorms Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 44 days. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down,
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Halftime into our second hour. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Matt Travis at our ESPN Arkansas headquarters. We'll have Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation in our upcoming segment, digging into Arkansas football and SEC Media Days. Yesterday was an exciting day. Right about now yesterday, I'd say it was 24 hours ago, Landon Jackson sat down at our SEC Media Days Radio Row location, put on a headset, and talked about his hope for the upcoming season. And I think what's generated most of the headlines about Landon Jackson, as far as yesterday's concerned, is that he gained 40 good pounds.
I was weighing, I want to say, around 235, 238. Yep, so, I mean, it was a lot of eating and a lot of working out. I've actually gained more speed since the end of the season last year, and I give a lot of credit to Coach Souders, our strength coach. I think he's pushed me to my limits and made it to where I can become the best physical version of myself.
Arkansas last year generated 42 sacks, Matt. That was an increase of 18 from the year before. 17 of those 18 came from transfers, Drew Sanders and Jordan Dominic. Of course, Sanders had 9.5, Dominic had 7.5. That's 17 of the 18 sacks that Arkansas was able to increase from the 9-win season. Obviously, defensively was a real struggle last year, but they got to the quarterback much more often than the year before. But you've lost a good chunk of those sacks. Who else can rush the passer? And I do think, like, Landon's going to generate some double teams. I think he's got an opportunity potentially to match Drew Sanders' sack total from last year, which would be special. 9.5 in 12 games is a lot. But, Matt, when I think of somebody 6'7", 280, running over 20 miles an hour, as long as, I mean, you're going to have a double team on him occasionally, but I think you might have some corners that can single cover. I think Jackson's got an opportunity to have that kind of season.
You remember a guy that played at Texas A&M named Myles Garrett?
Oh yeah,
that's kind of who he kind of has that Jason Taylor look with that bald head. But he kind of, you talk about his measurables, and I say Karl Malone, but really Myles Garrett is kind of the guy that comes to mind. And if he can be anything close, I mean, all he has to do is be the best version of himself. But if he can be an all-SEC caliber type of defensive end, like you're saying, Phil, that just opens the door up for so many other playmakers to make plays. If you have one guy that can cause so much havoc, that's a Myles Garrett, a Jadeveon Clowney, somebody out there that you have to they have to double team you, man. As a defensive coordinator, you're just licking your chops because you get to do so many different things schematically.
Finished with 3 sacks, 3.5 tackles for a loss, and seemed to come on a little bit. Certainly in the Liberty Bowl, had the knee situation last year, but that's not a problem right now. And I think Landon Jackson can have one of those special seasons. But who else can rush the passer? You know, I mean, it's not a matter of you got to get to 42 sacks or anything, but you have lost you lost the two players that generated your most sacks last season. So who else can step into that void? You know, Sanders was an edge rusher at Alabama, and he did line up on the edge at Arkansas a little bit last year.
We don't have anybody.
Is that what Chris Paul Jr. can do? I don't think he's that kind of linebacker.
No, they're not the same type of linebacker. Sanders was a special player that could do a lot of different things, kind of like J.J. Watt's brother, T.J. Watt. That's kind of how I see Sanders at the next level. He's a stud. They're different players, but yeah, Chris Paul Jr. He's going to make some plays. His vision, his first step, the way he reacts, the way. I should ask Landon who calls the plays in the defense. You know, is he the guy that's calling the plays, getting the play from the D coordinator or whatever and telling everybody what to do, because he knows what's going on. And Takeo Spikes even talked about yesterday how Arkansas looked lost a lot of times on defense last year. But you know who doesn't? Chris Paul Jr. His instincts, his first steps, his vision he's really good at that.
Well, you'll have a different makeup to your defensive line and probably more 4-down linemen than we might have seen even last year. I mean, you had more 3-down linemen 2 years ago. You got back to some 4-down linemen last year, but it seems that might be the going rate this season, which means you feel there's more depth at defensive end. It's just that somebody's going to have to do something that they didn't do the year before. You know, I mean, Zach Williams has 8 total sacks in the last 3 years, and it feels like there might be a little bit more there for Zach, who's a speed rusher. John Morgan, 3.5 sacks as a part-time starter at Pitt last year. I think he's going to get an opportunity to play a little bit more. Trajan Jeffcoat is a really interesting one coming from Mizzou, all SEC first-teamer in 2020, and then at least statistically, has regressed each of the last 2 years to where he only got to the quarterback once last year. You need him to be back to where he was a couple years ago, where he had 6 sacks and more than that in quarterback hurries. Or is Jashad Stewart able to step into that void a little bit? And you see where I'm going here. Like, Jordan Dominic had the history of getting to the quarterback at Georgia Tech. Drew Sanders, you just had the feeling he was going to be that dude anyway, given the opportunity to play. Somebody's going to have to do something that they have not done yet. I mean, in Jeff Coates' case, he did it a couple of years ago.
I like him. I really do. If you get a couple DNs that can make plays, man, he's going to be fun. I haven't seen him play a lot, but if it's there, if they'll bite as pups, they'll bite when they get older. So hopefully that Missouri team, they're playing from behind a lot. There's not a lot of talent on that defense. They're able to take one guy away. They don't have anybody else. So hopefully when he gets on this Arkansas defensive line, that there are playmakers that make plays, and you're going to get one of them manned up, and they can beat a guy one-on-one and make a play.
So part of the other question is, can you cover? Can you do one-on-one coverage on the outsides? Because that's going to be an aspect of this. And can you create the mathematical mismatches that might help out a little bit? Because I do think that teams are going to focus on Landon Jackson and trying to keep him off the quarterback. 877-377-6963 is our McClarty Daniel hotline. You can check out their entire inventory at McClartyDaniel.com. We go to the McClarty Daniel hotline, and Charlie's here. What's up, Charlie? How you doing today?
Oh, I'm great. Can you guys hear me well? No
Loud and
breaking
clear.
up?
Yep, no, we got you.
I was messing with Matty T this morning trying to figure out why in the world he was up at 7:45 a.m. because I was sending him some videos of the SEC podcast. Michael Bratton interviewed KJ and Pitt yesterday, and not Pitt. Well, yeah, Pitt and Coach Pitt. And yeah, Matty, what was you doing up at 7:45 this morning? Our greatness just never sleeps. Is that what it
Greatness
is?
never sleeps, Charlie. You know.
I figured that. Phil, were you up at 7:45 this morning
I'm up
too?
at 7:45 every day. I can't sleep past 6:30 or 6 o'clock these days.
I guess that's what tends to happen. I don't know. That's what people say. But, you know, you're right about that when it comes to our defensive line. We do have numbers, but you are correct as far as, you know, can we have some guys step up and get more sacks? But, Matt, one of the things I wanted to point out, Sam was talking about, you know, he brought a lot of zero blitzes where he was. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case here. I think we'll do it some. But one of the things you can do is bring 5 or 6 if you bring 6 and they keep the back end, you know, usually what happens is everybody's one-on-one, right? And if you can hold up in coverage long enough to do that, hopefully somebody, you know, you were talking about, Phil, you know, the defenses are going to key on Landon. But if you can bring 5 and, you know, everybody get one-on-one, it's going to be hard to, you know, key on him. Obviously, you bring an extra guy, you lose a guy in coverage. You know, you got to play that balance. But I think Travis is going to be aggressive. You know, I don't know if necessarily we'll be bringing a bunch of cover 0 blitzes, but I do think Travis is going to be aggressive. And the main thing for me is just, can we get guys on the ground in space? That's just my thing. When guys catch the ball, can we tackle them? That was one of our bigger issues last year. And another thing, Phil, you know, you kind of stepped aside yesterday when KJ came on, but I thought you asked some great questions there, you know, towards the end. And, Matt, was that the first time you ever really talked to KJ, or how many times have you met with him?
Last year in July, we talked, you know, 3 sentences or something. That was about the same amount. You know, it just kind of he's a busy man. He's a busy man.
Absolutely, but I know you got to tell me this: is there really this? Because Quinn Grovey talks about this. When you play quarterback for the Razorbacks, and I'm sure it's like this everywhere, but is there like this brotherhood bond there, Razorback quarterback you thing? Is there a thing to that?
Man,
anyway, I'm like, listen, guys.
I'm always pulling for KJ, whoever the quarterback is at Arkansas. And you know what? We had this drill that Bobby Allen had these players do, and you know, Coach Brandon Allen, Austin Allen played up there for the Hogs. And I don't know if Coach Allen was still coaching there, but I remember the freshman, sophomore year drill, and John Thompson probably had a little bit to do with this, but as soon as that running back, as soon as that receiver would break the line of scrimmage and go, every single player on the defense had to go and touch the ball. Mm-hmm. So what it teaches you to do is start taking a line, instead of just running this angle, it teaches you geometry. You know, it's teaching you how's the angle. When you see this guy go, what's your best way to go get him before he gets to the goal? And you got to go and touch the ball. So it kind of gets that mindset of swarming to the ball. That's how we're going to tackle better. It is about tackling space, but it's tackling collectively. It's tackling as a group. It's about everybody running towards the ball. And so that split second, when he does kind of have to hesitate and slow down, to make you miss in space, somebody else is right there tackling him. You got to tackle as a team.
Well, you hear the term willing tackler all the time. Part of that would be being willing to just go right to the ball. It was a strength of this team 2 years ago. It was a weakness last year. And if you can't get the ball carrier down, you're going to have a lot of trouble playing this sport. Quick break in a moment. Alyssa Orange after the break. Brought to you today by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. It is lunchtime right now, and you already know CJ's have the best burgers, best fries, and best shakes anywhere in the state of Arkansas. 2 locations within our listening audience, in Fayetteville at the Weddington Road exit and in Russellville at the Arkansas Avenue exit. These days I'm thinking pepper jack cheese, double patties, grilled onions. I've been off on. I'm waiting until we get back to basketball season before I start eating bacon. It's kind of a baconless existence. During basketball, baseball season, I'll always throw some bacon on that CJ's Butcher Boy Burger. You can download their app and order at the Fayetteville location. Go to butcherboyburger.com. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best, and CJ's is exactly that. Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation next on Halftime.
Thinking about a life, you and I. One you'll never know, 'cause you're a small town smoke show.
We are live from Radio Row at SEC Media Days off Broadway in Nashville, Tennessee. Our coverage of SEC Media Days is presented by Arvest Bank. Arvest provides a wide range of banking services, including loans, deposits, treasury management, credit cards, mortgage loans, and mortgage services. Visit arvest.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Limbird Real Estate Group. Limbird Real Estate is now covering Fort Smith and Missouri in addition to Northwest Arkansas. For all your real estate needs, go to limbirdteam.com. Do
you need free legal advice? Listen to Coffee with Counsel with Kevin Hickey and Brad Hall on the Hit That Line podcast network.
Some judges pretty much don't let the parents even introduce their own evidence. It's just about questioning the witness of the department because the only thing they're looking for is whether probable cause existed to sign that emergency order. Parents feel so deflated after these hearings usually, and it's really hard to explain that this is just the nature of the hearing. It's not the full hearing on the merits.
For more information, go to hickeyandhull.com.
Here's to you and yours from your friends at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. Hey, warmer weather is with us, and that means fun in the outdoors. Whether you're in the boat, onshore enjoying a picnic, or attending a family celebration, In Good Spirits can provide you with the tastiest adult beverages in town. And don't forget to treat yourself as you listen to the game. In Good Spirits, Highway 71 South across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hey, this is Mark at W&W Automotive. Let us help you beat the heat this summer with a seasonal tune-up on your car. We'll check the Freon and AC system, plus your battery, belts, hoses, and more. We offer routine maintenance to major repairs, including front-end work, alignments, and we're AC specialists. Don't simmer this summer. Drop by W&W just off Townsend Avenue on South O in Fort Smith. Or call me or Kelly at 242-1600. That's W&W, a bumper-to-bumper certified shop.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
When a hailstorm comes to the River Valley, homeowners have doubts on what roofing company to deal with. That's why it's better to contact the experts that are local. That company is Construction Masters Roofing, a locally owned company that's ready to change the roof on your home. Construction Masters Roofing is insured and local, specializing in hail claims and replacing windows, siding, and gutters. Construction Masters Roofing, located at 225 North Greenwood Avenue in Fort Smith. Call for a free estimate, 479-648-8888 or 918-859-4724.
The people have voted, and Evans Body Shop has been recognized. Voted best in the River Valley this year and 5 years running best of the best independent body shop. We are so grateful for the support of our community. EBS has hundreds of 5-star reviews and countless satisfied customers. We invite you to experience a customer service level that sets our shop apart from the others. Call or come by today to see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006. Will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
The largest used car sales event in Fort Smith history is back. The July Summer Sale at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. 6 days only, Wednesday through Monday. Harry Robinson has over 500 vehicles deeply discounted. Vehicles starting at $59.95. State sales tax paid on every used car and no payments for up to 90 days. And bring your trade because nobody pays more than Harry Robinson. The July Summer Sale ends Monday at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's the 18th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's. Can you eat a monster burger in 120 seconds to qualify? Go to hitthatline.com for more details and win a football trip of a lifetime.
Well, I snuck to a window to leave her a note. Will you come meet me at the back of the grove? All the trees were in bloom, that sweet smell in the air. scrambling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah. True love, hard to find. I can smell those orange blossoms. I can see us standing here. When I smell those orange blossoms, then I'm there.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Standing by on the McClarty Daniel Hotline is Pig Trail Nation's Alyssa Orange, who was gracious enough to do today instead of yesterday, because we had 3 Arkansas football players join us in the second hour yesterday, Alyssa. We had a lot of fun talking with Landon Jackson and KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders. They're no Alyssa Orange, but they were
Hey,
decent
I know my
substitutes.
place, though. They can jump ahead of me. It's cool.
Well, it was enjoyable talking to them, you know, and
Yeah.
there was good stuff from all of them. I think, you know, when I hear about Rocket, he's talking about probably going to catch a few more passes, might line up a little bit more often outside. KJ, you know, worked on accuracy. He expects to be throwing more, running less. Landon Jackson put on 40 pounds of muscle. You only hear the good stuff during SEC media days.
Yeah, well, you know, first and foremost, it doesn't surprise me they want to get Rocket into that passing game. Sometimes it's easy to forget he came in as a wide receiver recruit out of high school. So he has those skills. And I think KJ really is just trying to make himself a much more well-rounded quarterback as he looks towards the NFL and how he can build that with Dan Enos. And then, truthfully, Phil, we've talked to Landon Jackson maybe once or twice. And so listening to him and all of his media outings just really impressed. He seems like a guy that we're going to talk to more often, and I'm looking forward to getting to know him a little bit better. Love his energy, got an infectious smile. Think he's going to be a great guy that we're going to be able to talk to throughout the season. But, yeah, you're right. A lot of positives out of this Arkansas team, and I think that that's good to see that things are going well in their eyes as they portray it. KJ talked about how him and Rocket are working on their communication, and that's kind of bolstered their relationship a little bit. But I will say in Sam's opening press conference, he was very introspective, and we've always seen that from Sam Pittman. He said, look, we've got a lot to fix. Things aren't perfect. I'm not going for it on fourth down as much. And some of those people who are listening laugh, but he was being serious, really looking at what do I need to see more in practice as a head coach before I put things in games, making smarter decisions, looking at the analytics more than he ever has as a coach, what he has to improve on to be a better head coach for Arkansas. And he said all of those things in his opening statement on the main stage. And so, yes, it's going to be a lot of positive stuff. That's warranted. KJ Jefferson and the hype that he's getting. Rocket Sanders and KJ being one of the best running back quarterback duos in the country. But Sam kept it real at the beginning of, look, we still have work to do.
Well, and you want to, Alyssa, you want to get the best 11 on the field. I love it if Rocket Sanders, and then you can put A.J. Green and Rocket Sanders in the backfield at the same time. You can, Dan Enos likes to use motion. You motion Rocket Sanders out, get a mismatch. You think of him running a route on a linebacker or the team's third D-back. I mean, he should be able. Those should be winning situations.
Absolutely, and that's what I think we're going to see with Rocket Sanders for sure, to take that game of his to the next level. We don't expect him to come back for his senior year. So this kind of is his year to show Arkansas what he can do, have a really good college career and a finish to it, because we expect him to go into the NFL draft next year, and then also just show how versatile he can be to those NFL scouts who are keeping a big eye on him. But he has just got so many tools that you can use. I don't know why you wouldn't utilize all of those. And I love A.J. Green. I wanted to see more of him a year ago. But it's tough in that running back room because you also have Rashad Dubinion back there and Dominique Johnson, whatever his role is going to look like. Maybe it kind of adapts more to a fullback role for him. But there's so many options for Jimmy Smith in that backfield that I'm really excited to see how him and Dan Enos can get creative with it.
I love hearing and watching Coach Pittman speak in front of media, and I love when he's on the radio show and everything that he does
Yeah.
during the football season, and he just is. He comes off as somebody who isn't fake at all. Some of the coaches come off as salesmen, and it's okay because that's what you're doing when you're speaking in front of them. But I don't know. I mean, I buy what Coach Pittman is selling just because there's an air of being genuine about him. I think the media feels the same way. Like there's a fear of Nick Saban. I don't know if they feel that way about Kirby Smart yet, but there's a fear of Nick Saban. Just don't ask a stupid question or a question he thinks is stupid. Sam Pittman might make fun of you a little bit. The whole thing with Ham's beer yesterday.
Yes. Was that a question?
Yeah, it wasn't even a question very much, but he told the guy to step up his game. Like there's humor in that.
Yeah.
It didn't make the guy necessarily feel stupid. He might be, truthfully, and this has nothing to do with how the season portrays or anything. I think he might be the most liked head coach in the league.
I think so. He got asked that question, are you the new Mike Leach? Because you're just kind of, that fun-loving guy everybody loves to talk to. And he jokingly said there's no way I could fill those shoes. But you're right, because Sam's just real. Because then he goes and he talks about, what he's listening to on Spotify and those playlists. And then he even opens up talking about being a part of the athletic department and giving props to track and field and basketball and baseball and softball and talking about the fountain at the Hog, on Lake Hamilton. And he's just a real guy who is cool with talking about some of those things. And look, I have been a victim of Nick Saban making me feel stupid for a question that I asked at my very first media day. And it was a valid question in my defense because he goes, I never said that. And then went on to talk about why he was in agreement with what I said. It was very strange. But I understand how intimidating it can be to talk to Nick Saban from experience, and Sam just doesn't give off that vibe. So even if you do have a quote-unquote stupid question, Sam isn't really going to make you feel that stupid for asking it.
I wonder where this team's going to be picked. The poll comes out tomorrow,
Yep.
and Arkansas very well may have the first-team SEC quarterback, the first-team SEC running back, and still, or probably, I think they're going to be picked fifth in the West.
Yeah.
And I'm not making my season predictions or anything. I'm not going to do that. This is how I think the rest of the media will view Arkansas. That the race in the West is amongst Alabama, LSU, and A&M, maybe in that order, and then Ole Miss, and then probably Arkansas.
Yeah, I think they're in that 3 to 5 range as well. And we've kind of had a poll on our sportscast all week, and that's where most of the people have voted, in that 3 to 5 range. And I think they're going to be fourth if I have to put them right back in the middle of that range. I can see where maybe the votes come out that way, like you said, or maybe it's Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, Arkansas, then A&M. A&M is just so weird because they recruit so well and they have so much talent, but yet they find a way to screw it up. So I don't like putting a lot of faith in them to actually have a successful season because we haven't seen it happen yet. But I think you're absolutely right. They're going to be right there in the middle of the pack of the SEC West with two guys who have a really good argument this preseason on why they can put Heisman campaigns together in 2023.
Alyssa, what's on the Alyssa Orange jukebox right now? We were just talking a little bit about what was on Coach Pittman's. What are you listening to these days?
Great. So I have a rotation. If you open up my Spotify, I've got like my top 6 things. So Matchbox 20's new album, to Where the Light Goes, is one of my favorites right now. Been listening to a lot of Hosier, a big fan of him. The Jonas Brothers' new album's on there too. I kind of like, it's kind of my fun, want to get hype in the car and just kind of have like fun. I put that on. And then Leon Bridges is up there as well. So between those 4 and some Maggie Rogers, I rotate between those right now.
Any list with Rob Thomas on it is a good list.
Oh, my gosh. I love him. I fangirled so hard when they were here at the AMP a few weeks ago. It was fantastic.
That song with Carlos Santana, speaking of birthdays, today is Carlos Santana's birthday today.
Never heard
that's
it.
one
I
of the
have no
best
idea what
songs
song
up
you're
there.
talking about. They never played that one on the radio 8
Never
times
heard
an hour. They never did that. What I've got on my and I use Apple Music. I don't do Spotify, but my kids had control of it in our convertible in Chicago over the weekend. We had a lot of Michael Jackson. We had Wham, the Blues Brothers.
Okay.
I'm the one who chose the Blues Brothers. So I was like, you got to if you're driving around in Chicago, it's got to be Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
All right.
That's awesome. You know who's up in, the Nickelback is at the Amp tonight. Would you guys go to Nickelback?
I mean, maybe
Jimmy Butler.
maybe maybe if somebody else bought the ticket.
Do you hear where Jimmy Butler plays it for his teammates?
He does that as a joke, doesn't he? You have to do
I think he's in. I think he might be into him.
Interesting.
He's dating Shakira now, so he knows the pop world.
Nobody's going to be asking about playlists once camp starts. I mean that's when media days are great because it's the start of camp and then there's 2 weeks before camp. But now once camp starts, we finally get to hear from more players and the assistant coaches for the only time. August is so important to be able to talk with the assistant coaches, which you never get to do. So, I mean, what's top of mind once camp starts? What do you want to know?
Right. Well, I think we all want to talk to the secondary coach, right? We want to talk to Marcus Woodson. We want to talk to Travis Williams. We want to talk to those guys about what this defense looks like, how these changes, are going to go, and how aggressive is Travis Williams going to be. It's those kind of questions. Who are you plugging in around Chris Paul? That's what people want to know. And then people probably want to talk about, Jimmy Smith. I think Jimmy Smith would be someone to be so fascinating to sit down and talk with and just kind of see exactly how he navigates that running back room that he has. Because it's been really impressive what they've been able to do since he's gotten here. But that's when we get to talk to him, because we won't get to talk to him the rest of the season, ever. And so write your questions down now, because you get one shot, one opportunity.
I want to know Jimmy Smith's secret sauce in recruiting, because he's been killing it as far as bringing in good running backs. Exactly. Alyssa, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you hopping on a day later. Thank you so much, and we'll do it again next week, okay?
Always, guys. Have a good one. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, Alyssa.
Alyssa Orange, noted Rob Thomas fan, and Pig Trail Nation anchor as well.
Yeah, nobody heard that Smooth song with Santana, right? They didn't play that every day. Yeah.
Just forget about it, all right?
It's a good song, man, yeah.
877-377-6963 is our McClarty Daniel hotline, and halftime is right back after this.
Everyone, but you stay so cool. Mama Nikita, my Spanish Harlem Mona Lisa. You're my reason for reason. The step in my groove. And if you said this life ain't good enough, I'll give my world to lift you up. I could change my life to better suit your mood. Because you're so smooth. And it's just like the ocean under the moon. It's the same as the emotion that I get from you. You got the kind of loving that can be so smooth. Yeah. Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it.
We are live from Radio Row at SEC Media Days off Broadway in Nashville, Tennessee. Our coverage of SEC Media Days is presented by Arvest Bank. Arvest provides a wide range of banking services, including loans.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 47.
Black weather jocks get the fly girls, and me I get the hood rats. I tell them scat, skittles, kabobble. Got hit with a body, was in a hospital for dark in that mess. I confess it's a shame when you living in a city that's the size of a box and nobody knows your name. Glad I came to my senses, like quick, got 6 sick to my stomach, overcome it by thoughts of me and her together, right? So when I asked her out, she said I wasn't a type. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
I'm 5'9", so I've answered yes to this question a few times in my life. Matt Jones, have you ever answered positively to the question being posed here by Skilo? I wish I was a little bit taller. Did you ever feel the same way?
You know, like a pterodactyl?
Mm-hmm. You want to be like, instead of 6'6", would you rather have been 6'10"?
Be like Trevion Brazil? I like where I'm at.
Okay, good. Good. Well, I like where I'm at too, but I have answered that question.
I wanted
yes,
to be
a few times.
I wanted to be as tall as Michael Jordan, you know, and I think I got there whenever I was a little kid. I was like, I just want to be as tall as MJ.
Cardinals keep winning. A little baseball here. Win over the Marlins 6-4, their 5th in a row yesterday. Start a series against the Cubs on the road tonight. Cardinals only 2.5 games in back of the Cubs in the standings. So watch out. 9.5 games out of the wild card. Are you still selling 11 days away from the trading deadline?
No, you're doubling down. This is you get the best odds right there.
Cubs coming in after beating the Washington Nationals 25-6 over the last 2 games in St. Louis, starting winless Steven Matz against Chicago. Paul Skeens, a couple of days ago, signed his first overall pick contract, $9.2 million bonus. It's a little less than I think his slot value by about $500,000. And then the Pirates actually got a win yesterday, beating the Guardians. News on Arkansas baseball. Left-hand pitcher Mason Molina, former Texas Tech Red Raider and an all-Big 12 first-teamer, has committed to pitch for Arkansas next year. That is a big get, especially after the Hogs lost or probably have lost Craig Yoho to being drafted, I think, by the Reds. Yoho was the pitcher they'd been able to commit out of Indiana that had been injured mostly his first couple of years. Molina last year at Texas Tech, 6-2 record, 367 earned run average, and he struck out 31% of the batters he faced. So he got some swing and miss stuff. And you're looking at a possible Arkansas rotation now of Hagen Smith, Brady Tigert, and Mason Molina. Smith and Molina, both first-teamers in their respective leagues, and Tigert's got the first team stuff. I think you might see Ben Bybee get a shot as a fourth starter, because, of course, you do need that fourth starter. But this is a really good pitching rotation of some highly accomplished pitchers already. And you got a pitcher from Texas Tech. You got their starting catcher, Hudson White, who transferred into Arkansas as well. So the Hogs have raided the Raiders a little bit in this case. All right, just some baseball stuff I wanted to hit on when we had the moment there. Saquon Barkley said on the Money Matters podcast, and I can't say the entire quote, he says I could say F you to the Giants, I could say F you to my teammates and sit the season out, because he's not going to play on the $10 million contract franchise tag that he would be forced to sign if he and the Giants don't come to some agreement. Last I saw, they're offering, I think it's $14 million per year if he hits some incentives, couple-year contract, and so it's not enough for him. 32% of offensive snaps had Saquon Barkley touching the ball. 34%, if you count the targets that they threw towards him, was Barkley. So that's over a third of the snaps they were giving the ball or looking to get it to Saquon Barkley. $14 million. You know, this is all just the market, though, right? You're not going. There's not much he can do about this, and I doubt he's going to sit out the whole year.
Him and Christian McCaffrey are two of my favorite running backs in the NFL right now. Running backs are just devalued. I don't understand it. I think you gotta have them more by committee. I could see him being like they're a pitcher where Maybe week 2 you have Saquon Barkley starts, and then he doesn't play again until week 4. You give him a whole 10, 12 days rest. Then you got to have 2 running backs now. And where are they putting the money? Are they putting it in wideouts? Because Barkley can catch them. I'm telling you, he's probably one of the best all-around backs. Him and Christian McCaffrey, absolutely love him. And you look at Rocket Sanders and what he's doing. If I'm the NIL collective right now, I'm offering Rocket Sanders $1 million to come back for next year. Like, if there's a way to get that kid to come back, whatever you have to do, because these running backs at this, I mean, I don't know how much more money is he going to make if you go in the 3rd round and you're a running back. You're probably going to make about $1 million a year. So I think you could have some of these running backs staying in college making more money than what they're going to be on their rookie contract, because none of them are first-round picks anyways. They're not first or second-round picks.
Well, you ask where the money's going. It's going to quarterback. It's going to left tackle. It's going to edge rusher. And it's going to cornerback. But it's not going to running back. McCaffrey is the highest paid running back on the average 32% salary per year.
Phil, 32% of the touches means you're going to get hurt.
And that's partially what I'm getting at here. It's like, so there's value according to the market, but what about the value to the team that you play for? Like, if 32% of the snaps go to Barkley, Saquon Barkley, and he's 4th in the league in rushing, and the season kind of hinges on whether or not, of course, he needs holes to run through.
He's that matchup nightmare, though, you know? Yeah. Because if you put a linebacker out there, he can go run a route on you. You put a D-back out there, you can run over him. He can run past you. I mean, he's an absolute stud.
But there's only X amount of dollars for each team to play with. That's because of a collectively bargained agreement. And the market has made itself. It has made itself. He is more valuable to the Giants than $10 million per year.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not more valuable, comparatively to the rest of the running backs in the league just based on what they make. Maybe he could get a little bit more in the open market, but this would be the first of 2 years that he gets franchised.
And then
the Giants aren't going to let him walk after this next year.
If you're a rookie running back, you play your rookie contract, then they franchise you 2 years, and most of the time you don't play much anymore. Like, where's Zeke Elliott going to play now? Zeke's that's about it. Then he's ran the tread off his tires, and that dude's an absolute beast. I love some Zeke Elliott, but he's at the end of it, and what's he been in the league, 6 years?
Well, and that's also why if you're Barkley, you can't really sit out, even if you don't like the money that you're making at $10 million. Well, you're not going to make anything. In fact, he could get fined for not playing.
You know what? I'd be having a hamstring pull every other game. I'd go out there and play week 1, be like, Coach, quads. I'll be back week 3.
My arm.
Yep. There you go. Then you're getting 16% of the touches, and I mean, it's not like, I mean, he is. I think I don't know. I don't know how much you pay him. I don't know what the answer is to that, but I know the dude's good.
And sports are cyclical, but are we ever going to get back to a place where running backs are paid like they were in the 90s? It's a different sport than it was then. It's a different sport than it was 15 years ago. Yeah, and I mean, we asked Rocket about it yesterday. I know other media members asked him about it as well, being one of the 2 top running backs in the SEC and one of the best in the nation. Why do you even want to play this position, knowing what the salaries are at the next level comparatively to some other positions? Well, Rocket didn't want to answer that because he's focused on being the best Razorback running back that he can right now. But again, why would you want to be sure, you can make good money doing it, but it's going to be a very short window, and you're not going to make as much as you could if you were a star receiver, which Rocket maybe he could have been. Who knows?
Can't. He's a slasher type back. He's a Maurice Jones-Drew. He's a Marshall Faulk. He's he's a Darian Sproles. He's not a really all out receiver. But the thing is, he can be. You can move him in the slot. You can match him up. You can put him back there with AJ Green. You can put him back there with DeBinion, and he can beat linebackers on routes. He definitely can, and he can catch the ball. He's an all-around back. He would be such a great player. I mean, he's an All-American. What else is there to say? He's an All-American.
Halftime brought to you by Riley Farm Dental. They're at the entrance to Riley Farm and provide every type of dental care for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. All at Riley Farm Dental. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer helping their patients have a better life, a better smile, much more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental is at 5901 Riley Farm Drive, Suite A, That's the entrance to Riley Farm off Highway 71 in Fort Smith. For an appointment, call them at 226-3500 or visit RileyFarmDental.com, and we'll wrap up the second hour of halftime next.
Live from Radio Row at SEC Media Days off Broadway in Nashville, Tennessee. Our coverage of SEC Media Days is presented by Arvest Bank. Arvest provides a wide range of banking services, including loans, deposits, treasury management, credit cards, mortgage loans, and mortgage services. Visit arvest.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Limbird Real Estate Group. Limbird Real Estate is now covering Fort Smith and Missouri in addition to Northwest Arkansas. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
Fort Smith's largest used car sale ever is back Wednesday through Monday at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Over 500 vehicles are on the lot. Cars as low as $59.95. Multiple appraisers are on site to bid on your car. Over 30 banks on hand to get you financed. Even if you've been told no elsewhere, get no payments for up to 90 days. Plus state sales tax paid on every used car. The July summer sale, Wednesday through Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts need, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
We know there's never a shortage of work to do. Get more done with a New Holland Workmaster Compact Tractor. Available now at WT Equipment. Get big savings when you buy now. 0% financing for 72 months. Plus, no payments for 90 days or choose cash back on these 24 to 55 horsepower compact and subcompact tractors. Roomy, easy to operate, and they still deliver all the power you could ask for. Upgrade your work today at WT Equipment in Springdale. You better hurry. Offer ends July 31st.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This ad is for the paint store in Van Buren. I doubt you thought paint was anything like football, right? So for football, you need a team. For painting, you might need a primer, the perfect color, maybe a top coat, and bug juice to keep the spiders and bugs away, right? So it takes a team of products to make the winning paint job. The right place for that is in Van Buren at the paint store, and the right place for certified grass-fed beef from M&M Farms in Rudy. That's right, all at 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. The biggest used car sale event in Fort Smith history is back. We got cars starting at $59.95. We got no payments for up to 90 days and state sales tax paid all weekend. James Durham's here. It's the second day of the sale. You still got great selection.
We do, Tommy. Hey, if you want a great deal on a vehicle, come see us. We got a little bit of everything. We got a whole bunch of new ones, and we got a really great selection on the pre-owned also.
State tax paid on every used car will save you hundreds, but probably more like thousands.
Tommy, if you get one of these $75,000 Yukons out here, a pre-owned one, that could save you up to $5,000 to $6,000 just in taxes.
Plus, you got 30 banks on hand to make sure everyone gets a great deal on financing.
I am a finance manager here, and we'll take great care of you if you get a new vehicle. You got some special APR rates, and if you get a pre-owned, we'll take care of you there too.
It's the biggest sale of the summer. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, and online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
It's the 18th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's. Can you eat a monster burger in 120 seconds to qualify? Go to hitthatline.com for more details and win a football trip of a lifetime. Listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Wrapping up our second hour of halftime here. I had a friend back home who went through a breakup. She'd had tickets to a concert. Dinosaur Jr.
Feel the pain?
Okay, yeah, I'd forgotten some of the songs. She didn't want to go to the show, so she gave the tickets to her 14-year-old daughter and their friend, and it is the first time that her daughter is going to a solo concert. She's a little nervous about it, but I'm thinking it's okay. Maybe it's okay to still go to a concert, you and a friend age 14, and be dropped off and then picked up by parents.
I think the Dinosaur Jr. crowd is probably okay.
A little more chill.
Yeah, they'd probably be all right.
First solo concert, Matt?
First solo, just you mean without your parents?
Without your parents. I'm not saying, so I went with a friend. It was Depeche Mode. I think it was 91, Civic Arena, Pittsburgh. I was still wearing flannel, so that's how I know it was the early 90s.
How cool. That would have been fun, huh? That's a little EDM kind of right before EDM. Were they kind of like they're
that was a great show. That was right off the Violator album, which was so good.
I want to say I went to a Dave Matthews concert with some buddies, like in 2000 maybe or 201. I don't know. Yeah,
the only Maddie?
I think it may have been either Third Eye Blind or Sugar Ray at the
Semi-Charm
river.
Rife. Yeah.
At the river.
No, Sugar Ray, he aged really well.
What's his name? Mark
McGrath.
Mark McGrath.
Yeah. So some of these songs still last the test of time, don't they? Just like I noticed, there's LFO on the Hot Springs Yacht Club playlist.
Or is that LFO?
Still likes the girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch, apparently.
Yeah.
Remember that one. Our McClarty Daniel hotline open for you in hour number 3. 877-377-6963, and make sure to check out all of McClarty Daniel's 6 locations in Springdale or Bentonville. We'll have Bob Holt from the Democrat Gazette in about 20 minutes, and we'll be right back after this.
The largest used car sales event in Fort Smith history is back. The July Summer Sale at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. 6 days only, Wednesday through Monday. Harry Robinson has over 500 vehicles deeply discounted. Vehicles starting at $59.95. State sales tax paid on every used car and no payments for up to 90 days. And bring your trade because nobody pays more than Harry Robinson. The July Summer Sale ends Monday at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
What makes a meal magical? Maybe it's coming home to smiling faces and the aroma of the grill. Maybe magic is the moment you finally get the secret ingredient to Mom's signature mac and cheese. Who knows, magic might just be as simple as meeting up with a friend to share a number 2 with fries and extra ketchup. One thing's for certain, magic shouldn't be hard because it's everywhere. All it takes is mixing the right ingredients, good company, great food, and ice-cold Coca-Cola. And then, voila, you'll have a recipe for magic.
Are you needing new tires? Are you short on cash? Van Alma Tire can help you get back on the road. Come by Van Alma Tire and apply for caffeine. It only takes minutes to get approved, and you can get the tire or the service you need to get your vehicle back on the road.
top-of-the-line tires, brake service, and more. Van Alma Tire is here to help you. Located on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Must be 18 or older. Valid ID. Active checking account and income at least $1,000 per month.
Frank Rowe Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see an increase in the cloud cover. There's a slight chance of seeing a shower or storm across the north. High temperatures today into the middle 90s. A chance of a few showers or storms across the north tonight. Overnight low will drop down upper 60s north, mid 70s south, and a better chance of more widespread showers and thunderstorms Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 44 days. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Yes, sir. Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down,
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Getting into our third hour of halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson along with Matt Jones and Matt Travis. Our coverage in Nashville has been presented by Arvest Bank and the Limbird Real Estate Group. Arvest Bank, if you're ready to start saving for your future and pay off debt, Arvest has products and services that fit your needs. Just visit arvest.com or stop by a branch and you can see an associate and they'll help you. Arvest Bank is an equal housing lender, member FDIC. Bob Holt coming up in about 14 minutes or so, the real star of SEC Media Days. We've had our last coach talk, Josh Heupel. He might still be up there. He was up there 30 minutes ago. So they're supposed to have 30-minute sessions. So that would be about it. I think they're supposed to get the preseason poll votes in by 5 o'clock today. I'll get tabulated, and we'll have a lot to complain about tomorrow, I'm sure.
I know we've talked a lot about the West, rightfully so. Do you think in the East that it's Tennessee or South Carolina in that second spot? Because I think that it'll be Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina some way, and then I think the West is going to be LSU, Alabama, A&M, and then it's do you put Arkansas next or do you put Ole Miss next? So that's how I think it's going to pan out, but you got South Carolina or Tennessee in that second spot?
I would watch out, but either one of them too. But I'd watch out for Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean the quarterback's unknown, but Bill King said he's a top 3 quarterback in the SEC.
That's Devin Leary, who was really good at NC State last year. 60%, I'm looking at my numbers correctly.
And Phil, Kentucky has they usually have a decent defense. I mean,
they brought in a running back in Ray Davis that ran for over 1,000 yards at Vanderbilt last year. So I know they lost many of their leading rushers, but that's a team that I think could surprise some. Maybe a second place. Part of this also is, if you were voting, Matt, would you be voting based on the makeup of the roster and how you think the depth chart shakes itself out, and whether or not that team looks a certain way, better than last year or worse than the year before, or do you go by the schedule? Because that's what you're really picking. When you're picking a preseason poll, you're going, this is what the standings are going to look like, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all based on the records, which has to be based on the schedule. It isn't just like even a moment with Arkansas right now. I think that this Arkansas football team in 2023, just how they're constructed, I think it's a deeper team.
A better team than last year?
I think it's a better team.
I think so, too.
But does that necessarily mean a better year?
Auburn's better, I think, as well. You know, you get Hugh Freeze. Is Ole Miss better? Does Alabama have their quarterback? LSU's supposed to be better. A&M was last place last year. We could be a better team and have a worse record. I mean, that's a true statement. That schedule we go through, starting September 23rd, and that road in Harris Stadium before.
Look, how many teams across the college football landscape that would travel to Baton Rouge, play the Aggies in Arlington, then go to Oxford, then go to Tuscaloosa? How many teams across the landscape could even win 2 of those games?
That's correct. That's tough. Georgia could. You know, you're looking at some teams that could. Could USC? What about USC?
And Ohio State potentially, maybe Michigan. These are
take an
the only
Oregon
teams
team
that can win that kind of stretch and go 2-2, and that stretch is national contenders.
Right. Yeah. Those. I mean, 4 road games. Like, it's tough.
So I do think this Arkansas team is better than the year before. That has nothing to do with what their final record is going to be, because that stretch that begins with September 23rd, before you've even played an SEC game, and you really don't know what your team personality is going to be like whatever happens in the first 3 weeks in Little Rock against Western Carolina, in Fayetteville against Kent State, and then Brigham Young, like, all of that stuff will be nice and fine, but you do not know what the team personality will be like. Maybe they'll get punched in the mouth a couple of times in each of those 3 games, but they'll be 3-0. They will not have been tested anything like they will be tested just in that first quarter alone in Baton Rouge.
I even think the job's harder for these mid-majors now, Phil, because all their good players left. They're going to have a lot of underclassmen. If you're good at Kent State last year, you know what? You're not playing at Kent State this year. If you were good at Western Carolina last year, you're not playing there. Somebody's came and scooped you up.
Kent State won the MAC last year. They don't have a single returning offensive player.
That's what I mean.
Not
right?
one.
That's it. They're getting. It's going to be
at
so
least none
hard.
Of their starters.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for those teams to keep up, because as soon as anybody shines at all, they're getting NIL and they're going to the SEC. We had 62 players drafted, and still it's crazy. It's still a low percentage. 62 players drafted in the NFL were from the SEC. Still less than 1% of these guys are going to make it, but that's where they're trying to get to.
Did you guys buy lottery tickets over the week? I didn't buy. I didn't do it.
Steph Curry should buy one. Hitting that hole in one. Yeah, he must be lucky.
Grant Hall hit a hole in one once. He drives around a convertible because of that. He ought to have been buying. Maybe Grant Hall was the guy. There was somebody that won $2 million in Arkansas from the $1 billion Powerball from last night.
I never buy a ticket,
that.
but I bought one yesterday, and I didn't even get one number. Not a single number matched up.
How did it make you feel bad? Because you'd already spent the money before the drawing.
Justified that I don't ever buy tickets.
But you buy one when it gets, what's the number when it gets to, you're like, I'm going to go buy
$1 billion.
Once it gets to $1 billion, you're like, I'll play this game.
Yeah, at that point, it's, I'll throw $15 away.
I think it's like right now, it's like at $20 million or something.
Because somebody in Arkansas, what'd you say? They won $2 million? $2
million.
What do you got to get 90% of the numbers right? Five or six? Or
what happened is they hit all the 5 numbers but missed the Powerball. Like, the multiplier.
Yeah.
or however it works. I haven't
would
played
take
Powerball
that.
in forever.
I'd take just hitting those 5 numbers.
Yeah, the winning numbers were 5, 8, 9, 17, and 41. So there was I wouldn't know how to pick this. It's always got to be random. Go by people's birthdays.
Jalen Rose, Troy Aikman, Jim McMahon, Zach Clark, Dirk Nowitzki. You know, like that was your lineup.
There's a number 9 in there. That's you. I was 17 in high school one year.
Bill
Can that
Elson.
be one of my numbers
Yes,
too?
it can.
The winning ticket for $2 million was sold at Jordan's Quick Stop in Bono, Arkansas. How about that? And there was a $1 billion ticket sold in California.
Well, they're always sold in California. It's a setup because they get the biggest tax. They're getting all their tax money. You get the least amount of it.
Well, it is the most populous state. I think.
Okay.
Still.
Okay.
That might be part of it. That might be a little part of it.
They pay the highest taxes. That's
That
why.
too.
Yeah.
That too. Halftime is brought to you by Pradco Fishing Lures. We're heading fishing over the weekend. That's right. Headed up to Gaston's. Me and the boy looking forward to that. Going to be a lot of fun. If you're doing cold water bass fishing anytime soon, make sure the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. is with you. It is the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad. Work it from the top of the water column to the bottom. If you're trying to win a bass tournament or just whoop up in a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. is going to catch them. Find it at lurenet.com and tackle stores all over the place. Talking with Bob Holt from the Democrat Gazette next on Halftime.
And if I had $1 million, I'd buy your love. If I had $1 million.
We are live from Radio Row at SEC Media Days off Broadway in Nashville, Tennessee. Our coverage of SEC Media Days is presented by Arvest Bank. Arvest provides a wide range of banking services, including loans, deposits, treasury management, credit cards, mortgage loans, and mortgage services. Visit arvest.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Limbird Real Estate Group. Limbird Real Estate is now covering Fort Smith and Missouri in addition to Northwest Arkansas. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
Burlsworth with his new glasses. Looks like Clark Kent. This guy is dominating offensively. Dean, he's also a quality guy. We had more fun talking with him. He was a walk-on. Now he's an All-American. He also is brilliant. He's a great student. Last week he got his MBA. The guy is just what cop football is all about.
I've been called everything. Clark Kent, Kurt Rambis, Drew Carey, you name it, I've been called it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
This moment of relief brought to you by your local State Farm agent, who also brings relief with all your auto insurance needs.
Call Heath Roberts at 479-452-4088 for a free quote today.
The July Summer Sale, this Wednesday through Monday at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Harry Robinson has over 500 cars, deeply discounted for this 6-day event. Over 30 lenders and multiple appraisers are on site. If you have been turned down elsewhere, Harry will get you financed. Cars as low as $59.95, no payments for up to 90 days, and nobody will pay more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The July Summer Sale, Wednesday through Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Frank Rowe Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
We know there's never a shortage of work to do. Get more done with a New Holland Workmaster Compact Tractor. Available now at WT Equipment. Get big savings when you buy now. 0% financing for 72 months. Plus, no payments for 90 days or choose cash back on these 24 to 55 horsepower compact and subcompact tractors. Roomy, easy to operate, and they still deliver all the power you could ask for. Upgrade your work today at WT Equipment in Springdale. You better hurry. Offer ends July 31st.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
You don't wanna see cracks in your pipes or your plumber. Let Western Plumbing get you right for the summer. We tuck in our shirts and work, we're experts. So if things don't blow your way, we can get it to work. Say no to crack and we'll give you 20 back. 646-5151. Looking for a plumber, call and they'll give you one. 646-5151. Looking for a plumber, call and they'll give you one. Say no to crack and get 20 back. Yeah. Western Plumbing, expert drain cleaning service. Say no to crack and get 20 back. Yeah.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Should start with Bob.
It's time to talk with a unique individual.
You said you and Diva are OGs, old guys? Brett, you spoke so positively recently. I mean, did you expect this to happen?
He's a man of mystery.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky? Hey, it's Bob again. I think I'm unmuted now. I figured it out. Man, you win the lottery 3 times, get to go to Starkville.
A man whose incisive questions and rapier wit.
Hey, John, I had a 2-parter if that's okay. What did you mean? I'm sorry. I'm not that hip. Man, we got to get the Packers straightened out. Losing to the Jets, that ain't in Lambeau, that ain't good.
That placed him on the Mount Rushmore of Arkansas sports writers.
What do you think about this?
Yeah, Bob. There's a future in that, yeah.
Here he is, the one and only Bob Holt.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Bob, how you doing? Hope the travel headed back home is going well. How was media days?
It was good, yeah. We're just now leaving Music City and getting rained on here. I hope you guys are having better weather there in Little Rock.
It's nice and warm. It's going to start to cool off once you get back into town. By the way, Bob Holt's on our McClarty Daniel hotline. You can visit McClartyDaniel.com for all of their inventory. Anything stand out today? I was able to listen to Lane Kiffin. I missed the other couple of coaches that got up there. Anything stand out from what you heard before you got out of town?
Well, it was Ole Miss, South Carolina, Tennessee. They finished it up. Yeah, Lane Kiffin, he came in and he honestly looked like he hadn't combed his hair. I'm certainly no fashion plate. I think as everybody who knows me knows, but his hair was kind of going everywhere. And I'm not positive. I don't think he was wearing socks. He definitely was not wearing a tie, but it looked like he had loafers on. But it was funny. He started off talking about, most guys come in and talk about their team and go over their depth chart a little bit or talk about the players they have there with them today. And Kiffin started off with a filibuster pretty much about NIL. He's not a fan of NIL. And he got a few questions about that, but he barely talked about his team at all when he was in there with the room with us. And then Shane Beamer, he's a very enthusiastic guy. They're very optimistic at South Carolina. Got a lot of players back from a team that won 8 games and beat Clemson and Tennessee late in the year. And then finished up with Josh Heupel, Tennessee coach. He was pretty good. He didn't talk too long early and gave solid answers. Tennessee, they're real happy to have the NCAA investigation, have that resolved, and they obviously don't have a postseason ban, and they're feeling good. Tennessee opens up right here in Nashville against Virginia at the Titans Stadium, Nissan Stadium. So it was a good solid day, but no real fireworks or anything.
Did anybody change your mind, Bob? How you thought and what you thought kind of about these teams going in? Did anybody change in the order that you picked your teams?
Not really. You kind of feel like Georgia's going to be really good again, even though they lost a ton of guys in the NFL. But Kirby Smart and that staff, they just recruited such a high level. And that was a big, theme that Georgia, can they three-peat? I guess nobody's. Well, I didn't know, so I was having to look it up. But nobody's won 3 in a row in college national championships since Minnesota in the 1930s. And Kirby said he didn't use that example with his team. Players might have trouble relating to the 1930 Tennessee, but I guess he talked about the Michael Jordan Bulls. I'm not sure the players today can relate to the Bulls very well back in the 90s, but you feel good. I think most people are going to pick Georgia to win. I think that I'll be shocked if Georgia isn't a prohibitive favorite. Tennessee may get some first place votes. There's always, not always, but a lot of times somebody will vote for Vandy or Missouri or something. I guess they're just doing that for fun, or maybe they're drunk. I don't know. And then I'm sure Alabama and LSU will probably divide the West votes pretty evenly, and we'll see how that turns out. But it's kind of same old. I guess the usual suspects would be picked to win the SEC.
You don't have that coach who just is incredibly entertaining. That's partially what SEC Media Days are about. This is a week-long television show for the SEC network, and the coaches are there, yes, to talk at a certain amount of time, talk about their teams, whatever it is they want to. People want entertainment, though, and you got that so often from Steve Spurrier, and there is no Steve Spurrier now. You got that with like a Lou Holtz at South Carolina, even a Mike Leach, of course, at Mississippi State. Are there any coaches that are really entertaining right now? Because there's information, there's questions that they'll shut down, there's complaints they might have, but we only remember the really entertaining moments. And right now I think Sam Pittman might have been the most entertaining. I wonder what you think.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I hope it make me sound like a homer, but I'd probably rate Sam at the top. You're right. Maybe they should just bring Steve Spurrier back and let him talk, and just kind of show the other coaches how it's done. Or maybe they should show a Steve Spurrier video to all these guys and say, this is the way you do it. But yeah, it's funny. We were talking to Sam a little bit before he went in the big room, and I think I asked him something like, "Hey, this is your third time to do this," because his first season they didn't have media days because of COVID, and Sam said he still gets a little nervous. He doesn't know why, because he's obviously done a ton of interviews as the Arkansas head coach. But he said, they rate you or rank you. I think he said they grade you, and he means there's some media outlets that will grade the coaches 1 through 14, who was the best, who was the worst. And really, Sam was as entertaining as anybody there. He's usually he keeps it pretty light. He'll give you some good answers, and he had one of the funnier lines. I can't remember what game it was last year, but they won a game in Fayetteville, and afterwards, it might have been Cincinnati, maybe it was South Carolina, but Sam said something like, "I'm just going to get me a cold beer." And so that thing kind of took off. So some guy asked him about if he ever drank Hams. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Hams. I think that's a Midwest beer. And they have a cartoon bear that is their mascot or something. But it's not exactly a real expensive beer, I think. It would be a way to put it. And Sam said something like he's had a few Hams, but they make you burp. And he said something like, "Hey, buddy, you look like you're doing pretty good. Why don't you step it up? Meaning, why don't you get a higher brand of beer?" That was kind of funny. But nobody was really bad, and nobody was incredible. But I'd say out of everybody, Sam was as entertaining as anybody, probably more than most.
Bob, do you think he feels any type of pressure to produce this year? I mean, you look at those first 3 non-conference games, I think they're all 3 dubs, and then going into at LSU. Would that be his biggest win as the Arkansas Razorback coach if we were able to beat LSU at Baton Rouge?
Yeah, you assume LSU will probably be ranked in the top 10 when that happens, depending on what goes on in the season. But I'm sure all these guys feel pressure because they're really just one so-so or bad season away from being on the hot seat, unless you're probably Nick Saban or Kirby Smart. And I know Arkansas went 7-6 last year, won the bowl game, and as Sam pointed out, they won the bowl game without a lot of starters, guys that either gone in the portal or were getting ready for the NFL draft. And then they had Rocket got hurt early in that game, and they were having to play some young guys that came through for them. So, I'm not a fan, obviously, but I don't think 7-6 when you're Arkansas that bad a record given the history of their history in the SEC. But obviously, expectations were higher, and they easily could have been 8-4, even 9-3. They lost some of those tight games. And so coming off a 9-4 season and then going 7-6 when you were ranked, I think, as high as the top 10, that's disappointing. I'm sure Sam is feeling some heat, and he knows in the SEC you better win. But speaking of Steve Spurrier, I think it was him that said one time that the problem with the SEC is everybody expects to win, and when two SEC teams play, one of them has to lose, obviously. So I'm sure Sam, along with all these other guys, feels pressure. I'm sure Kirby Smart feels pressure to compete for another national title, and Nick Saban feels pressure to get back in the playoffs, and Shane Beamer feels pressure to build on what they did. So, but yeah, I'm sure Sam knows they probably underachieved last year, but based on the expectations, so they obviously want to have a big bounce back year.
Don't you think that these coaches feel pressure no matter what, even to be up to their own standards? And I think that's one of the things Jimbo Fisher was talking about the pressure to produce this year. Even if you're 11-0, you put pressure on yourself to go 12-0, and that goes along with the money at the same time. I wonder, though, Bob, one of the themes about this week, and it started with Greg Sankey's talk. I know every coach has mentioned it in their opening statements. If they didn't, then they were asked about it multiple times by media members. The bookend of this media day is that SEC wants help from Congress to, quote-unquote, fix the current state of college football. Greg Sankey spent a lot of time on that on Monday. And then 3 senators, a bipartisan proposal came out from the Senate today. We don't have to get into the details, but it just seems like this very well could have been coordinated by the SEC office and those 3 senators.
Yeah, probably. It's kind of scary to think you're dependent on the U.S. Congress to figure anything out these days. I'm not pointing out figures on one side or the other, just both sides of the aisle, really. But, yeah, I mean, Greg Sankey, they want a uniform national NIL policy because right now the states are doing it on their own. And I get why they're doing that. And obviously, if you're the Arkansas legislature, you're going to help the Razorbacks and, give them the most favorable NIL legislation you can. Same, certainly, I don't know if they care about it in Idaho, but obviously these SEC states, they're going to, make it as favorable for their colleges as they can. And it's almost like everything in the SEC is a competition, an arms race, whether it's facilities or recruiting or salaries for your coordinators or head coaches, and really having the best NIL deal is probably just an extension of that. And Lane Kiffin made it real clear that it's basically just, organized cheating. It's pay for play. And somebody asked him to rank Ole Miss's boosters kind of in the SEC hierarchy. Like where does Ole Miss rank in terms of their boosters helping with NIL? And I'm paraphrasing here, but Lane basically said, he wasn't going to answer that. And then he kind of paused and said, I wish I could, because there are obviously some schools I'm sure he'd like to point fingers at. But really, it's not a level playing field. And you might say, well, it doesn't really matter whether there's NIL or not NIL. We all know certain, Alabama and LSU and Georgia are at the top, and other teams are in the middle trying to get up there. Some teams are in the bottom trying to get up to the middle. But right now, they'd kind of like to do it where there's some kind of salary cap, where you just didn't have unknown amounts that the boosters could spend to buy players. Honestly, we all know that stuff's been going on under the table. Now it's over the table, but I think they all want some uniformity to it. So it's apples to apples, not apples to oranges, or grapes to watermelons in some cases, depending on what kind of NIL deals some schools might have, big or little.
Good description on the grapes to watermelon, man. I'd never heard that one before. So what's top of mind for you before camp starts? What is it that you want to be writing about, that you think is interesting about this team without having a chance to talk to anybody for at least the next couple weeks?
Well, it was interesting. I thought Landon Jackson did a really nice job. I mean, obviously KJ is the quarterback. He's faced the program, and Rocket Sanders is coming off a great year, really 2 really good years, but a really exceptional sophomore year. And Landon was a guy, who transferred in from LSU and was coming off an injury. But it's really interesting to see how he's transformed his body, going from, I think he said it was 238 to 283, and he still had real good speed. it was interesting. I guess they run all these tests. He said he can run. Sam mentioned this, and so did Landon. He can run like over 20 miles an hour, which if you're in your car, that doesn't sound very fast. But if you're on foot, that's pretty darn fast. I probably would run like negative 5 miles an hour or something. But it was interesting to talk to Landon. I think he was excited to be there and represent the defense. And he talked a lot about the depth he feels like they have on the D line, really 3 deep at all 3 positions. And a lot of that is with the portal guys. And some of those guys we saw in the spring, and some came in, like Tank Booker from Maryland came in after spring ball. So really all we have to go on is what we hear about summer workouts. But I think it'll be interesting to see. I think they probably had close to 30 guys come through the portal, something like that. And man, it's really pouring rain. Thankfully, Tom Murphy's driving rather than me. But I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. But I think it'll be real interesting to see what the portal guys do, how they look in camp, especially on defense.
Bob, we'll leave it there. Safe ride, safe driving, whomever it is that's doing the driving. 2 hands on the wheel, okay? 12 and 9.
Yeah. Thankfully, Tom's doing the driving.
Thanks, Bob.
Appreciate you,
okay,
Bob.
you guys take care.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
He couldn't do 11:15 because there were coaches talking, but he could do right now in the car, headed home, hair on fire.
Bob's the man, but I think he could get 3 miles an hour. He's selling himself short on the -5 miles an hour. He's positive 3 at least.
I think negative miles per hour is impossible to pull off.
I think he can beat that.
I think at negative miles per hour you disappear.
It's like the Indiana Jones movie.
Stay with us as we get into the home stretch of halftime. I'm McClarty Daniel. Hotline's open for you at 877-377-6963. Back with more halftime next.
We are live from Radio Row at SEC Media Days off Broadway in Nashville, Tennessee. Our coverage of SEC Media Days is presented by Arvest Bank. Arvest provides a wide range of banking services, including loans, deposits, treasury management, credit cards, mortgage loans, and mortgage services. Visit arvest.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Limbird Real Estate Group. Limbird Real Estate is now covering Fort Smith and Missouri in addition to Northwest Arkansas. For all your real estate needs, go to limbirdteam.com.
Tommy Smith for Bet Saracen.
Hey, if you're like me and enjoy putting a little something on your favorite sporting event, then get Bet Saracen. Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 sports betting app. Download the app or go to betsaracen.com. Oh, and by the way, I finally upgraded my 20-year-old flip phone so I can actually play too.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is halftime.
It's hard enough to find a quality used vehicle and even harder to get the financing. Well, look no more. RVR Auto can do both. They have a large selection of pre-owned vehicles and offer in-house financing with payments tailored to your needs. Cars, vans, trucks, all makes and models, and RVR Auto is locally owned. RVR Auto, where you aren't just a customer, you're part of the family. And they also sell used vehicle parts for all makes and models, even those hard to find. Check out their inventory at rvrauto.net or give them a call at 918-626-8111. RVR Auto, be a part of the family.
Are you looking for a change of scenery? Lavorne Lumber is looking to hire a Class A CDL flatbed driver for a regional position. Lavorne Lumber is highly competitive in pay. Lavorne Lumber is a family-owned lumber and trucking company. Home most nights and every single weekend. Guaranteed. Lavorne Lumber has top-of-the-line equipment. If you're interested in the job, stop by Lavorne Lumber at 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith Monday through Friday from 9 to 4.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, we offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
Sunshine is a beautiful thing, but not when you're sitting in a hot vehicle. Put some shade on that sunshine with window tinting from River Valley Truck Outfitters. River Valley Truck Outfitters have all shades in stock and are ready to put some cool on your commute or your upcoming vacation drives. Give them a call to schedule your appointment. River Valley Truck Outfitters, your #1 truck and car accessory store at the top of Rye Hill. Call 648-8855. That's 648-8855.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's the 18th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's. Can you eat a monster burger in 120 seconds to qualify? Go to hitthatline.com for more details and win a football trip of a lifetime.
Close the curtains, 'cause all we need is candlelight. You and me, and a bottle of wine, gonna hold you tonight. Well, we know I'm going away, and how I wish it were so. So take this wine and drink with me. Let's delay our misery. Sing tonight and fight the break of dawn. Come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone. Sing tonight and fight the break of dawn. Come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Greg in Farmington put in a text on our McClarty Daniel text line about Hams, which is apparently not Sam Pittman's favorite beer. He says this beer fits somewhere between Miller Lite and White Claw.
Hams makes me think of you'd be pulling the top off like in 1960s beer. You know, the tab beer. That's what I think of when I think of Hams.
Well, this is a beer that was first brewed in 1865, according to the Hams website.
So it was them and PBR. They were duking it out back then.
Well, I don't see Hams claiming any silver or gold medals from 1893, the way that you see on the Pabst cans. So
never forget.
At least they're not bragging about 127-year-old awards. So you know anybody that's celebrating like the Chicago White Stockings 1888 National League?
You know what? They're probably
celebrating
it with an old style.
Yes. Or a Hams. Which is brewed in Minnesota, so it's close enough. On the web, first brewed in 1865 in Minnesota, the land of sky blue waters. Hams uses the purest water, the choicest barley, malt, grain, and hops, and that also includes corn syrup. I don't know if every beer uses corn syrup. Got a little sweetness in it then.
Didn't they have the Beast, Milwaukee's Best?
The taste of college.
Yeah.
The taste of 2 years of college
the smell.
I can forget those 2 years of college. Literally, I can forget them because they're fading out of memory. On beeradvocate.com, let's see here. I got a great review that gives Hams 1.42 out of a total of 5 scores. It's like you could go in the 20 to 80 scouting scale, but you're going very, very specific. If you're 1.42 out of a possible 5, this review of Hams says he loved Hams back in the day, had to drive across state lines to get the 2023 version. What a waste of gas and time.
Specific clientele's who they're after.
Says, I've tried all the El Cheapo beers lately, and this is the worst. Terrible.
Whoa.
Horrible. I tried 5 out of the 30-pack I bought, throughout the rest. Taste is somewhat like beer. The only way to describe it is a cross between beer and soap water, which is White Claw pretty much. It looks like beer, not much of a scent. Carbonation is high. Don't waste your money with this. Want a good, cheap, decent, old-school, corny beer? Ice House, which is just as bad. Just at least has more alcohol in it, I guess.
Why are we being so hateful, man? You go buy a 30-pack of beer and throw 25 out? You sound like, you living that good life, huh?
I put in a search for the crappiest beers that have been brewed. Got a list here of Old England. Now, that's not even a beer. Isn't that a beer and malt liquor different things?
Yeah. Like a
Schmidt's
Mickey's,
Light,
yeah.
Tilt or Sparks, Gluick, Steel Reserve. I've never picked up one of those high-gravity Steel Reserves. Something tells you it's a little nasty. Natty Ice, ugh. Ice House, the same. Busch Light and the Beast.
If somebody has a Steel Reserve, you should just kind of just walk on the other side of the street. Just be like, yeah, I think I'm going to walk on this side of the sidewalk today.
877-377-6963 on our McClarty Daniel hotline for our calls and for our texts. Wrapping up SEC Media Days here. Arkansas got on there yesterday, and we got a couple of weeks until we get to hear anything from them.
I did want to say something. I saw this, Phil. I'm a Chad Johnson fan. I think he was one of the best receivers to play. And, not off the field antics, whatever you want to say about him, but as far as his talent on the field, and him and Boomer Esiason are going into the Ring of Honor for the Cincinnati Bengals. So
I read about that. So is he, in the story, they refer to him as Chad Johnson. Is he no longer Ocho Cinco? Chad Ocho Cinco?
He needs to just go back to Chad Johnson. It'll be all right. He's not wearing an 85 anymore. He's not Ocho Cinco.
But he did change his name. I think
Tax
legally
purposes.
changed his name.
Yeah.
Is our test still Meta World Peace, or
Meta
did we go back
Meta
to the old
World
name?
Mishap?
Right. Well, Corey Dillon really complained a lot about the process of how the Bengals choose their Ring of Honor.
He should be in there. Corey Dillon was beast. Is he not in there?
You know the way that they do this? They do this by surveying season ticket holders and suite holders. Those are the people who decide who goes in the Ring of Honor for the Bengals. It's very Bengal-like, though, wouldn't it be? Boomer should have been in there 2 years after he retired, or maybe he finished his career with was it the Jets or the Cardinals he finished his career with? There's either one of those two teams. But he's always going to be connected to the Bengals and losing to Montana.
There was, I think, my rookie year in Jacksonville, Tony Baselli was going into the Ring of Honor. And they're expansion franchise in the 90s, so they didn't really have, the Bengals have been around a little bit longer. But
there can't be all that many Bengals in the Ring of Honor, truthfully.
And I think Mark Brunell went into the Jacksonville one. Jimmy Smith, Fred Taylor should be in there. But Tony Baselli, you're talking about a Hall of Famer, one of the best tackles to ever play the game. He lost like 100 pounds when he quit playing because they have to eat so much and it's so hard on their body. And to see him, you can still see it on him, but, man, he looked great.
You got to just look at food at some point and think to yourself, no, not more. And all the shakes you got to drink and everything. We asked Landon about it yesterday, gaining I think it's 43 pounds. I mean, you are losing some of that weight just by working out if you don't just pack on the calories. And they got to be a specific kind of calories. I love eating, and I love working out just because of the appetite that it gives me. And these guys live working out essentially. So maybe you've got that kind of body type that you can just get it going through you.
They have nutritionists
up there.
So many
days and so many hours in the day to just eat and drink a shake.
And I'm all for Landon Jackson. I'm a fan of his. That's a lot of weight, though, to put on in a small amount of time. And a guy that's had knee issues, it's still a little scary for me. But you gotta think that the coaching staff knows what they're doing. 50 pounds, man, in 6 months. That's a little extreme for anybody. I would like for it to be more closer to 25 pounds. That's a lot. Your body's going through a lot of changes right there. You're carrying a lot more weight, and so hopefully he's doing it the right way.
I might be getting the player that they told this to incorrectly, but I mean, we were talking about how athletes are putting on pounds now. I think this would have been in the 50s. I think it was Phil Rizzuto, who was the Yankees shortstop, and he was much smaller than just about anybody else on the team. He was a diminutive guy. And the way that they told him, or at least coached him, to keep his weight up during the season was by having at least 2 beers every night.
Yeah, 3 slices of pizza and 3 hams, and then all of a sudden you're going to weigh 17 more pounds in 6 months.
It's not going to be the weight that they're looking for now, but it was the weight they were looking to then. Greg says that hams is his lawn mowing beer, and that was another thing I saw on this Beer Advocate website. Another review said this is a lawn mowing beer.
Easy drinking, yeah.
Well, it's got to be cold. That's the thing. You can only drink it when it's really cold. That's how I am with a Coors Light. I can drink a Coors Light, but it's got to be with 98 degrees outside, and the thing's got to come out of the freezer.
Did you ever go with the yellow jacket instead of the silver bullet? Get the full body, the Coors Original?
The Banquet?
Yeah.
I can't see that without thinking I'm being Sam Elliott, the Banquet beer.
That mustache drinks its own beer.
It sure does. Yeah, you got to get 2 beers, one for your mouth, one for the stash. You know what I'm talking about, Matt Jones, don't you? Of course you do.
I'm a Sam Elliott fan, yes.
Halftime brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, the dealership that served the River Valley in northwest Arkansas for over 7 decades. Crabtree RV Center is at the junction of I-40 and I-49, right beside the Cracker Barrel. They'll help every family with the best experience, starting from choosing the right RV for your adventures. The service and parts department takes care of everything else needed in between. Crabtree RV makes your family's dreams come true and been doing it for over 70 years and 4 generations. Visit CrabtreeRV.com. You can get a look at their inventory. Wrapping halftime up right after this.
Luke's waiting on a judgment day. Well, Luke, my friend, what about young Anna Lee? He said, do me a favor, son, won't you stay and keep Anna Lee company? Take a load off Fanny. Take a load free. Take a load off Fanny. And you put the load right on me.
We are live from Radio Row at SEC Media Days off Broadway in Nashville, Tennessee. Our coverage of SEC Media Days is presented by Arvest Bank. Arvest provides a wide range of banking services, including loans, deposits, treasury management, credit cards, mortgage loans, and mortgage services. Visit arvest.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Limbird Real Estate Group. Limbird Real Estate is now covering Fort Smith and Missouri in addition to Northwest Arkansas. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
Everybody's life is a journey, their own personal adventure, where every direction has a new trail to explore. Sometimes a little rough, sometimes a little muddy, but always exciting. So no matter which way you go, know this: that trail you're on is far too short to compromise.
Your next adventure starts at AutofindersOK.com.
What makes a meal magical? Maybe it's coming home to smiling faces and the aroma of the grill. Maybe magic is the moment you finally get the secret ingredient to Mom's signature mac and cheese. Who knows, magic might just be as simple as meeting up with a friend to share a number 2 with fries and extra ketchup. One thing's for certain, magic shouldn't be hard because it's everywhere. All it takes is mixing the right ingredients, good company, great food, and ice-cold Coca-Cola. And then, voila! You'll have a recipe for magic.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Oh no, what happened to your windshield?
I had an accident. I'm definitely going to have to get a new one.
You should call Mr. Autoglass on Towson Avenue.
I have to be careful. I have all this technology in my windshield.
Technology?
Yes, things like adaptive cruise, rain sensing wipers, and lane assistant.
Well, the folks over at Mr. Autoglass can definitely calibrate all of that for you. They are super friendly and fast. You should give them a call.
What's that number?
782-4441.
Okay, I'll give Mr. Autoglass a call. 782-4441.
When a hailstorm comes to the River Valley, homeowners have doubts on what roofing company to deal with. That's why it's better to contact the experts that are local. That company is Construction Masters Roofing, a locally owned company that's ready to change the roof on your home. Construction Masters Roofing is insured and local, specializing in hail claims and replacing windows, siding, and gutters. Construction Masters Roofing, located at 225 North Greenwood Avenue in Fort Smith. Call for a free estimate, 479-648-8888 or 918-859-4724.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's the 18th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's. Can you eat a monster burger in 120 seconds to qualify? Go to hitthatline.com for more details and win a football trip of a lifetime. Sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Thanks to Roller Funeral Homes for supporting Halftime and ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. 3 generations of the Roller family have worked to earn the trust of our fellow Arkansans. Roller Funeral Homes with all our respect. Master Matthew Travis working on our Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast. We'll have it coming out shortly once the show concludes. Ruskin and Zach are standing by from 2 until 7 o'clock. We'll wrap the week up tomorrow with our Friday edition of Halftime, and we will see what the media believes the SEC standings will look like and the first and second teamers and everything else. I think at Arkansas, you're going to have a couple of the first teamers offensively in KJ and Rocket. I wonder where Bo Limmer sits on the SEC preseason lists for center. I think you'll see McLaughlin at cornerback as a second teamer. And I'm not sure who else defensively.
There's nobody else.
Looks.
There's no reason that anybody on this team should be at preseason. I mean, what did we do on defense last year? And we lost our best defensive guys. There has to be there's opportunity out there is what it is. If you look at this defense right here, there's opportunity for players to step up, and I'm excited to see who they are. But preseason-wise, no, there's not anybody that you're looking out there saying, yeah, this guy's on the preseason, not on the defensive side of the ball.
An opportunity for some guys to use it as the quote-unquote bulletin board
It's a chip on their shoulder, right? It's an opportunity for guys to step up. And you know what matters? The postseason all SEC team, not the preseason. It's the postseason. I've
always thought it's unfair. It's unfair. The leagues, the professional leagues, do not come out with preseason teams that I'm aware of. The college leagues are all about it to generate that conversation. And putting pressure on kids. Preseason player of the year, what does that even mean? Preseason freshman of the year, what does that even mean? It means nothing. But we're going to talk about it anyway because that's what it's designed to do. And that's when we'll talk to you again tomorrow here on Halftime. Thanks to Bob Holt again for going a little bit later, and thanks to Alyssa Orange for joining us a day later than usual. Matt, stay out of Walmart the rest of the day. The parking lot's probably jam-packed, okay?
Golf course.
For Matt Jones and for Matt Travis, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Get up, get out, and get better.